I have 4:30, so I am going to call the Cromwell Town Council special meeting budget workshop of Thursday, March 5th, 2026 to order at 4:30. A little overview of today's agenda. We begin, as always, with citizens' comments. We will finish unfinished budget items from yesterday's session, and then we will proceed through item 2, which will be the library, the community events committee, building inspection, human services administration, senior services, transportation services, youth services, town manager, human resources, finance, general expenses, including the Board of Education and other CNR requests, employee benefits, and debt service. And then finally, approve a grand total of the budget to send to the Board of Finance. I remind everyone who is either watching at home or in the room with us, because we actually have an audience tonight, which I love, not talking into the void, that the budget referendum, after it leaves us, will be going to the Board of Finance. After they complete their hearings, it will go to the residents for a vote on Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. It's Tuesday from noon to 8 p.m. So we do have it on the electronic billboard in the center of town. We also have it on the landing page of the website in bold. It's also going to be in the rare reminder mayor, town manager column. So please remind your friends and family that May 5th is the budget referendum. We're trying to really do a push to get that number up. Last year, about 500 people voted out of about, now I think we're up to almost 11,000 registered voters. So that is a very small percentage of registered voters who actually came out for the budget. So with that said, I want to begin with citizens' comments. Any citizen wishing to make a comment, please come up to the podium. Please state your name and your mailing address for the record, and we'll try to limit the comments to about 2 minutes each.
Good evening. I am Gail Ivy at 2 Bayberry Court. I am the president of the Youth Services Bureau, and I know they're asking for a small increase this year to make their assistant from part-time to full-time, and I would like to say that the board completely is behind that. They help everybody, the children and families in this community, from the time they're born to grandparents who are now raising grandchildren. They do educational programs, awareness programs, fun programs. So I just would like to say that please support them, because they do an amazing amount of stuff for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to note you guys are the first citizens' comments that we've had of all of our budget hearings, so thank you for that.
All right. Deirdre Daly, 63 Gear Street. As chairperson of the Cromwell Senior Commission, I wholeheartedly support the proposed human services budget. In particular, I support our director's salary increase to put her in line with other similar towns. Amy deserves a raise after 10 years of proving herself an exceptional administrator. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Daly.
I'm Jennifer Glick. I live at 52 Missionary Road in Cromwell, and I want to speak in support of Amy Sada's outstanding leadership over several departments under Human Services for the town of Cromwell. Her responsibilities related to the Senior Center are extensive already, but soon responsibilities around social services, prevention, and youth will become even more demanding with programs in the works. She also oversees transportation services. And just look at the amount of grant money she has obtained for special projects, including a new 16-passenger wheelchair lift bus. The town of Cromwell is very fortunate to have Amy Sada on its staff. If anyone deserves a salary increase without another freeze, she does, especially to bring her position in line with towns similar in size to Cromwell. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Judy Benvenuto, 8 Goodrich Avenue. I'm also a volunteer for several of our organizations, Human Services, Senior Center, Youth Services, CPAC, and the Health Department. So I've had a lot of exposure to Amy. And yes, I'm yet another individual to put put a plug in for what it is I feel she deserves. These opportunities gave me direct access and perspective on Amy's work ethic and her results. She's a valuable resource for our Cromwell residents and for our town budget. So her human services responsibilities have greatly expanded to include youth services, the senior center, the transportation department, the youth division, opioid prevention, and the veterans. Now, her success benefited these groups and saved our town budget over $1.5 billion in cost avoidance. And that's really what the crux of this is. This is a budget meeting. So I wanted to make sure we were clear about that point. By securing these grants over the past 9 years. So her knowledge, her management skills, her leadership abilities, they're essential, I believe, to the future of our town and our residents. And her results speak for themselves. So please support her request. Thank you, and thank you for your service to the town.
Thank you.
Good evening. Patricia Snow, 17 Winthrop Boulevard. I am here also to support Amy for the outstanding job she does each and every day for the seniors. I do support giving her a well-deserved raise.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Pat. And just make sure folks pull the mic up nice and close so it picks up on that one wasn't picking up super good. So just don't be afraid of it. You can wrangle it on up. I want to make sure everyone can hear you.
Good evening. My name is Bonnie Sprague. I live at 179 Woodland Drive in Cromwell, Connecticut. I'm here to also support Amy. The first thing I did when I retired, I was signing up for the Cromwell Senior Center, and it's the best thing I ever did in my life. The first person I met was Amy Sada, the Senior Center and Human Services Director. She welcomed me as if she knew me all my life, and she has been a guiding force for myself and so many other seniors who take part in the many programs here at the Senior Center. To put it a little descriptively, as I seem to always do, and you might begin to understand the challenges that Amy faces on a daily basis, but she navigates through all crises calmly and smoothly. Even when the COVID disease outbreak occurred, her calm and peaceful demeanor helped so many seniors through this terrible ordeal. I believe in my heart of hearts, as so many of us believe, that Amy deserves to be given an increase in salary, for she is a definite asset to the Senior Center, as well as as a blessing to the town of Cromwell. Thank you so much for all that you do on the council. Thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie. Any other citizens' comments? Are there any other citizens' comments? Okay, we did get a letter from Jessica Zedek, who is both a town employee and a resident, so I'm happy to read this letter as, in her capacity as a resident. I'm pleased to write this letter in support of Amy Sada's fiscal year 2027 budget proposals. I show this support as an employee of the town, but also as a Cromwell resident. I've worked under Amy's leadership for 3.5 years and have known her for 6 years prior to that while I worked for the Recreation Department. I have a front row seat to the Human Services Department's growth and to Amy's hard work, reliability, and positive impact both on both my colleagues and the residents we serve in Cromwell. Amy's experience and ability to handle everyday tasks and challenges are admirable. Many of those challenges are often unanticipated, and some of them require only her unique expertise. Examples of this can be seen every day as she prioritizes our residents' need. Unfortunately, Cromwell is not immune to homelessness, addiction, poverty, food insecurity, and mental health issues, and these are the issues facing the Human Services Department, not occasionally, but every day. Amy and her team not only help the residents with these issues, but work hard at the community outreach and prevention. In between helping, she listens, laughs, and she is a friend and confidant to our Cromwell seniors, encouraging their attendance to Senior Center's quality programming and fostering a strong, inviting, inclusive, and positive place for our seniors to visit. I ask you to consider Amy's budget proposals for the above reasons and for the unseen moments that mean so much to the staff and residents. The department's growth and her supervisory duties have increased quickly, and Amy shows she can wear many hats handed to her, but as her responsibilities and expectations grow, so should her compensation. This work we do in our human resources team is something I am proud of, and Amy is a leader of that team, and that work is valued beyond measure. Thank you, Jessica Zedek, Assistant Youth and Cromwell Youth Services Assistant and Youth Diversion Case Manager, Cromwell Resident, 9 Edgewood Street. Ooh, got it. Okay, I think I did it under 2 minutes too. That's what I was trying to keep it to the same rules as everybody else. So that, I think I did it. Yeah, I did. I'm looking at the time. Okay, are there any other citizens' comments? Are there any other citizens' comments? Okay, hearing none, I will close citizens' comments out at 4:41. I want to thank the citizens for commenting. Again, you were the first folks to actually come here and comment on anything that outside of somebody who was asking for money directly for themselves. So, the nonprofits came and asked, but thank you for coming and showing up. Part of this process is supposed to be open to you and to hear back from you as taxpayers and residents about what your priorities are, and hearing from you helps us prioritize, make sure that those priorities are heard. So thank you for showing up and doing the work. We appreciate it. So we'll now move on to item C, budget workshop. Any unfinished business for March 4th, 2025 budget workshop. Yesterday in item 12, donations and dues, we had a conversation about the cultural district's request, and there were some specific questions that were made about, what they're looking to do with this fund, how they're taking over for the creative district, and what the programming was that they were looking to do based off of their letter. We were going to have this on Wednesday's agenda. The town manager and Amanda asked to see if we could get this on tonight's agenda. I spoke with Ann Grasso and Rosemary Mattis about seeing if they could come this evening and with some prepared remarks, and they were able to put together some further information for our consideration. So folks can go to chapter 12 of their budget books. The request was for funds, and so I will turn it over to the Cultural District co-president for the presentation. You get to sit, Ann.
I'm Ann Grasso, 70 Strand Circle here in Cromwell, and Rosemary Mattis may show up. She had a slight conflict. She'll try to get here by 4:45. And just to, I don't like correcting the mayor, but we are not co-presidents. We're co-vice chairs, and that's pretty important because as vice chairs, we are both eager to see the cultural district flourish, but we are not, either one of us, in a position to take over leadership of that particular group. So going on with what I think hopefully will help clarify questions that were raised last evening. I want to really thank you for the opportunity to come and talk about this, because I do think that the cultural district is new in our town. People get it a little bit confused with the creative district, and that will happen for some time to come. They both begin with C. They have a lot of C's in them. So it's not surprising that it is a little bit of a question mark of what's going on. And the truth of the matter is that the creative district, which was around for 7 years, was nonprofit, whereas the cultural district is municipal. And as a municipal entity, it requires minority distribution, and in the state's opinion, it requires funding by the town. And so I'm here tonight to offer suggestions of what we are asking for as a start-up. Basically, Cromwell Cultural District Commission is a tourism board. And in that regard, presenting events that we will be presenting events that will gain visitor as well as resident interest and support, whereas Cromwell Creative District, a nonprofit, focused primarily on community events specific to Cromwell residents. Tonight, CCD is requesting clarification on whether a municipal commission can raise money. We need to hear back from you about that. We are clear that funds can be donated to the commission, but if they're donated directly to the commission, they're not tax exempt. We are clear about that portion, but we're not clear on whether CCDC, the Cultural Commission, can hold fundraisers and the implication for tax-deductible donations and ticket sales. So hopefully this group will be able to clarify that for us this evening. And then thirdly, CCD has no money. The application to state is still happening. It has been accepted, but there is a walkthrough which is required, and the commission is working really hard on getting that put together, and you are going to all be invited. We hope you come. And that will tell more about what the actual commission will be doing. CCD wants to apologize that the Cultural District Designation Update and Strategic Planning Letter of 2/26, that should say 26, not 25, was never distributed. It is in the packet that you received this evening. Please see the short-term and long-term goals. In the past, the council and town have approved $1,500 for the Creative District, which no longer will be funded. Therefore, the request for $1,500 for the Cultural District programming seems to be in order. The specific programs CCD wishes to consider for 2026 are townwide tag sale, printed map, publicity, updated signs for the polls, as the current poll states CCD and not CCDC. Those would be the costs. And I already have been receiving phone calls. I haven't heard anything about the tag sale for this year. And so I know our residents are really, really looking forward to that happening. Number 2, the Riverport Festival. Attention to businesses. You can say one of these sheets. Hi, welcome. If you want to get paperwork, it's back there in that seat. Thank you. The Riverport Festival, attention to businesses in the district with something similar to the Scarecrow event. We will need publicity for that and banners for that. And then the holiday decorating contest, which has been going on for a number of years, will be extended because the district is larger now and prizes are required for that, as well as postage for the mailing. So we do need money, and I'm here to answer, we are here, thank you, are here to answer any questions or try to that you might have. So thank you for this opportunity again, and look forward to your questions.
Great. Rosemary, is there anything you'd like to add? I know you came in on the tail end.
I'm sure Ann covered it all.
Okay. And just to give the council an update, again, the applications, phase 1 has been accepted. We had the feedback for them that we wanted it to be the whole length of Main Street. So that was accepted by the state. There is gonna be a walkthrough scheduled for April to finish the application. If it gets approved, it will be designated on the state tourism website as a cultural district. They'll have a wet landing page for us, and then we have to move into our short-term and long-term goals. We're required to develop, or the commission is required to develop a marketing plan, a website, and a number of smaller items as part of their growth and tourism plan. So I think the reframing that Ann kind of did it as, what is this? I think a tourism board, that seems like a kind of a good way to frame it. It's advertising Main Street, it's advertising the businesses on Main Street, it's advertising the culture and the attractions on Main Street, everything from the river to the TPC, and trying to get visitors who come to town to explore that entire length and side of town. So to that extent, I think, they're asking for the $1,500 that used to go to the nonprofit group, which is dissolving or taking a new shape, to go to the municipal group. And then I also see that they're looking to see, talk about a secretary for meetings and seed money for the marketing materials in the future as well. So I think that's what we'll need to talk about and focus on. So,
James, could I just add one thing to what you're saying?
Sure.
The district is really important as a cultural district, but this is really town-wide. And the
Yep.
application that we put into state has a map that talks about all of the cultural aspects within the entire town, as well as businesses within the town.
Yep.
It's a pretty robust map, so it's not just Main Street.
correct, correct.
And if I could just give Rosemary a chance to say something, that would be.
I'm sorry I was late. It's a miracle I'm here at all. But the cultural original CCD did so much work to get us this far. But having a commission, a town commission, is going to make the world of difference in the economy of Cromwell, in the tourist ability of Cromwell, and we need your support. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, so Sharon and Tony, do you want to address any of the questions? Can they do fundraisers to raise their own money if we don't give them money as a commission of the town? How does that all work?
So since they are a commission of the town now, and it is a municipality, donations can be accepted and they would be tax deductible. There is, I looked this up, and there is a IRS procedure that you have to follow, as does the person donating the funds, but they would be considered tax deductible.
Okay,
As far as, I'm not sure what they're looking to do. Unfortunately, there is a state statute if they're looking to sell items or, yeah, I'm not sure about that, because the statute only allows 2 times a year for something such as that. But again, it depends on what they're doing. Mainly that is usually towards merchandise or some type of commodity. So if they're putting on an event and they're charging, I'm pretty sure, I would check it out further, but I'm pretty sure that would be acceptable, and they would be probably allowed to do unlimited.
okay. So like, for example, with the tag sale, last year, did folks have to pay to participate in the tag sale?
Yes.
So if they did the tag sale this year, would they be able to have a fee for people to enroll and give money to the commission? So that, because the commission would be organizing the tag sale, so how would they go about doing that?
Well, first of all, I would believe, but I would check it out through legal, but the bottom line is, I believe that they would be able to, because they're not directly selling anything.
Okay.
Other than organizing.
So it'd be like when Parks and Rec has a program and people have to pay a ticket price to participate in that program? It would be kind of the same kind of idea?
That's correct, yes.
And Parks and Rec has already said that as long as there was a community group that would be with them, that they had the bandwidth and the ability to deal with the tickets, et cetera, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't.
So it
be
could go
any
through the rec
different.
system?
Talk to me about the possibility of assisting, and there is a possibility that that could be done through Parks and Rec as one of their programs.
Okay. Okay. Any questions from the council members about their request? Oh, go ahead, Mr. Town Manager.
If I may, I would support, if they're looking for 1,500, I would support the 1,500.
Okay. Any questions from the councilors? Jamin?
Hi, and Rosemary, good to see you. I was just gonna, is this enough for you to get started?
Wrong question to ask this lead.
I was as careful as I could be with the 4,500 when and you know, I was looking at past performance rather than current. I did not go to any of the vendors to see how much more it would cost in 2026, but you know, at least 4,500 would get us somewhere. And I didn't want to go to the full 5 figure because I was fearful of that. But I was hoping that both the secretary for our commission, which would be paid through the town, and the 4,500 would get us started, and then the 1,500 would let us find out. Tony just said, yes, it's possible to raise funds, and that would make, I think, a huge difference. I did speak with Birdies for Charity. I will tell you that Birdies for Charity was one of the major ways that the Creative District got money. And they will not allow a municipality to participate in Birdies for Charity, which is really a bummer.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, with all due respect, I don't see anything here for 4,500.
Last page. It was sent in before. It's a copy before. The last
It's what they submitted last week, or last week that we had questions on yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
So they were asking for money they were asking for two things. I think one is money for this fiscal year so that they can do the stuff this year, now through July. And then the 1,500 was for July through July.
Well, the 4,500 then you'd have to take up as a separate item,
On Wednesday's agenda?
and it would have to go through the process of
Sure.
you and then the Board of Finance.
Okay. Okay. So let's parcel out, the 4,500 is a current fiscal year transfer, so let's put that on, can you make a note, Cassidy, for Amanda, that we'll put that on next week's agenda for consideration?
And the secretary?
And the secretary would need to be in next week's as well, because if you want a secretary to come to your next, to this year's meetings before July, it would need to be budgeted this year as well.
Yes, because I have no idea what it costs.
The clerk is usually $75 for 3 hours. $75 for a minimum of 3 hours, yeah.
70,
And then the minutes, yeah.
so,
We averaged, last night, $100.
Yeah, we took every, we took.
per meeting?
Yeah.
So how many times do you anticipate meeting between now and June 30th?
This is an unusual situation because of the walkthrough.
Yeah.
And if we can get our work done, and we do a lot by email, I can't answer your question,
Sure.
is the answer, but honestly, I think that normally it would be once a month, and we do not like to meet for 3 hours. So, do you cut it down if,
It's a
no, it's a
minimum.
flat fee?
Yeah, for the individuals.
Because they have to drive and so forth. I hear.
include the minutes?
Are the minutes extra?
And if I
We-
can make a suggestion, then if it's gonna be like this, then I suggest we take them out of dues and donations and move them over to boards and commissions.
I agree. So for the purposes of tonight, we need to, we're waiting on the 4,500 till Wednesday because that's the current fiscal year. And the 1,500 needs to be tonight because it's part of the budget for next year. Okay. So we'll create a 26.5 for them? Is that where you want to?
Okay, right now, I have it in donations.
Okay.
That's where it was, and then going forward, I'll move the whole thing.
Okay. So if for next year, 1,500 is for the programming and the secretary, or is 1,500 the base plus the addition for the secretary?
The secretary was a request by the previous president, and it's been a request for over 2 years. So, it is not part of the 1,500.
Do you anticipate that you'll need the secretary 12 times next fiscal year, like once a month, or are you going to go back to once a quarter?
No, it will
Be once a month. Okay.
This is where I was getting at. That's gonna run into, gonna get tight, 1,500, I think, no?
Eat up probably all the 1,500 just for the secretary. So how much would you recommend, I'll look to the town manager, how much would you recommend for the secretary and the programming for fiscal year 26?
So, 2,500.
Okay. And then we'll take up the marketing and the other stuff that you have to do this, in the next 6 months tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Wednesday. We're not coming here tomorrow. No, we're not coming back. Not on a Friday. Okay, Any other questions for the cultural commissioner on the request, then the recommendation by the town manager for 2,500? Mr. Waters?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Al? Second. I'll give it to Jamin because I saw him first. Seconded by Jamin. Any further discussion on that matter? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries unanimously. What is the new total for donation and dues with that?
64,666.
Okay, can I,
No, that's our total.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
can I have a motion to, can I have a motion to approve donation dues for that cursed
moved.
number? Made by Jamin. Second by Ann. Any further discussion on that for donation and dues? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Thank you, commissioners. We'll see you, if you want to come next week to talk about the marketing and other stuff in more detail, on our Wednesday meeting, we'll put you on the agenda for new business on Wednesday.
And Wednesday is at what time, please?
6:55 or 6:45? We start, well, 7 for you all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the work on the commission and the application, and we appreciate it. Okay, now we return to our regularly scheduled program. We will be starting with item 44, the library, in your packet. I do see our fearless library director. Are there any mini cows in tonight's request?
No, I wish I brought a posse. I didn't know that was something I should have done. Fried chickens.
Mr. Mayor, if I may,
Yes, go ahead.
when we get into the library budget, you're gonna see where I made a recommendation.
Mhm.
So there's actually 3 of them where I supported an increase. And you'll see it below the total budget outline, and then below you'll see town manager's recommendation. And you'll see that for the librarian, the HR director, and the senior center.
Okay, got it.
And just so you understand, my recommendation is to move it up to level E5 and between step 6 and frozen at 7. And I'm not recommending these positions go to step 8. They'll be frozen at step 7. And we've done that in the past also.
Okay.
I have an opinion about that.
Okay, so why don't we do this? Why don't we present the budget, and then we can talk about the salary and wages all together, like after so talk about the general budget, and then we can talk about the salary as a separate item,
Great.
kind of in the same vein, so.
So I only had a few slight increases. As you can see, operations and materials. I know many of you have read my director's reports and see that books are actually costing us just a significant amount more with Baker and Taylor going out of business. The town manager had asked me, like, is this gonna make, no, I would have to ask for $20,000 to really offset that, and obviously I'm not going to do that. We are looking into other vendors and pricing things out. It's taking my staff a little bit longer to order materials, and it's actually taking a lot longer for us to receive the materials. But we are cognizant of that, you know, this is a municipal budget. We have to be mindful of that. So there may be less items ordered, and we're hoping that our digital materials will offset that. That is also something that is increasing every single year. I really don't think that there was any other increases in my budget other than the raise and that.
Okay. So let's, before we get to the salary, we'll talk about the salary as a separate item. Any questions on the operations budget for the library director? Jamin?
I guess, under operation and materials, this is what you were just talking about, right? So, but in the previous years, there was no budget for, so
So
where,
it's all of the numbers underneath where it says adult books, child books, that's all grouped in. So it's that larger number and that's all encompassing of.
And we do the journal.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot more
It gets broken
sense.
down into all the little subsections so that we know what we spent on children's,
Gotcha.
adults, yeah.
all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Other questions from the council?
Yeah, I just want to ask, just for clarity, so that the number online with the operation and materials, that's the number, right?
So I asked for 95, town manager recommended 92.
Yeah, all the way, okay,
Yep.
thank you.
And what was, out of the 87 that was budgeted for last fiscal year, how much of that is used up, or
Right
was,
now?
yeah?
Right now, every dime is encumbered. I
Okay.
actually had to shorten a requisition to fit within the budget.
Thank you. And so that would be the 87, so that, hence your request for the 95. Got it. Any questions to my left? Okay, so that is that portion of it. Now let's move to the salary portion. I know there is a letter from you in the file with a request for either a 7% adjustment or an E5 step 6 salary step with additional 2 steps. Any comment, I know your commentary speaks for itself, but any additional commentary you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, I would. So I just want to take a few minutes just to share what the library has been doing lately, and then maybe that'll make my request of the salary with no stop at step 7 a little bit more clear. Since 2022, library visits have grown more than 35%. We had 71,000 people come into the library in 2025. Program attendance has increased by 157% over that same period. And when compared to libraries serving communities of similar size and demographics, Cromwell Belden leads in circulation, in number of programs offered, and in total program participants. What makes these numbers even more significant is how they were achieved. Service hours were expanded at no cost to the town. New collections and programs were launched through grants, not increased municipal spending. In fact, our total material spending is well below the statewide average, yet we are outperforming that average in nearly every service metric. This library is delivering big town results on a small town budget. So why I'm actually here presenting this tonight is I have not received a step increase since 2018. In that time, the director role has grown substantially in complexity, responsibility, and expectations. Strategic planning, grant management, facilities operation, personnel supervision, regulatory compliance, sustained community engagement. These are not small additions. They represent a position that has fundamentally evolved. There has been significant salary compression between the director and the supervisory staff, and it's creating a misalignment between responsibility and compensation. So I'm asking for the bump to an E5 with no cap at step 7. I am deeply committed to the Cromwell Belden Public Library. I am proud of what my team has built, and I hope that you will consider that in my compensation.
Okay.
So what I've handed you is basically all of the metrics for what we've been doing, all the statistics. Obviously, I did not go prior to 2022 because these numbers would look phenomenal with COVID, especially the library people coming into the building. But, you know, just sort of what we're doing, reminding you, these non-traditional collections. Our newest one from September to January circulated 568 times. Our food scrap composting program, I think it's something like 26,000 pounds of compost. How we compare to the state. And then if you look in the last page, I think this really shows a lot. The average materials budget in the state is 111,000. We outperformed those numbers, and last year with 82,000.
Number one, you used a picture of me when I used to be skinny, so thanks for that.
Hey, you're welcome.
I appreciate that. Okay, Any questions from the counselors on this? Yep, go ahead, Mr. Town Manager.
First of all, I could not agree more. She does an outstanding job. One of the reasons that I am supporting the adjustment, however, to say that she has not received a step increase is kind of a misnomer. When they come to work here, they know what level they're in, and such as the police chief has a level, finance director, the other one is the public works director. They know that when they max out to the top step, they're only gonna get wage adjustments. So to say I've been here X amount of years is a little bit of a misnomer. Does she, let me, you got yours.
I'm sorry.
And I supported it from E4 to E5. However, I did a little research, and that's still a significant increase, and it gives, I put her at step 6, and it gives her another step to go next year to 7, where I'm recommending the freeze. And that's my recommendation, and I understand, Kara trying to get as much as she can, and I would do the same thing. But my recommendation for all three is E4 to E5, and then depending on where they are, the maximum is step 7.
Can I respond to his?
You may.
So when I was hired in 2017 at step 6, the reason I was brought to step 6 was because I was making approximately the same as a youth services librarian in Cromwell. I wasn't gonna leave where I was at with less responsibility if I was not making at least a little bit more money. So yes, I had 2 steps, and in that time, I did an expansion, I did a renovation. I did ask for a step, I did ask for a bump, I know Amy did as well. And then COVID hit, things changed. But I think my role as a director here has also changed, and I think that should be acknowledged. And I think stopping it at step 7 just seems a little punitive. I know
I'm
you don't
sorry, I
mean it that way.
disagree that it's punitive. I think the increase is rewarding.
So before other counselors comment, I just wanted to kind of tackle it for a second. So I think everybody is saying things that are truthful and accurate in different ways, right? Obviously, Trumbull is not a comparable DERG community to us. It's a much wealthier community, has a higher tax base, all that other stuff.
I would say it's wealthier, it's just different.
What's its DERG or angelic number?
I don't know.
It's a lot higher. So your point is, well, that's what I'm saying. Both points are well taken, right? You came from a more affluent community that has probably more competitive wages, but at the same time, you needed to have some wage progression and growth. At the same time, the steps there is compression that's happening at the top step. What Tony's saying is also true. When somebody accepts a job and there's a wage table and the wage table has a cap, you get to the top step, and then you normally only get GWI at that point once you hit the top step. So everybody is saying things that are truthful and accurate, and it's a difficulty of balancing it. Last year, if the council recalls, we had another employee ask for a table adjustment, which I did not support because I thought it was creating a bad precedent, and we didn't have a unified metric from which we were making that decision. But the council did make that decision. Again, we're a deliberative body, so we did make the decision last year to make a table adjustment without what I would think is a measured or incremental or, anyways, the body made the decision, the body created the precedent. So we have 2 different department heads today that are asking to be moved to a different level. So my questions for the town manager with regards to the levels and what the possible steps are for those levels. So level 5 is obviously higher than level 4. What is the table for level 5, E5. So what are the steps under that table? And do we,
As today,
today?
so, she's at top step right now,
I understand that.
where do you want me to start? At the
E,
bottom?
yeah, with E5, which is the table we're proposing to move, the level we're proposing to move her towards. What is that table growth there? So you're proposing to move her to level
Right
level
now,
5, step 6.
She's at 109,000,
Yep.
and I'm proposing to move her to, E5, step 6.
So let me ask the question a different way.
It's 107, 7.
13, but I added the weight though.
The GWI. Okay, so let's decouple the GWI for a second from the.
113.
Okay. So, yeah, so can you read, do you have a copy of the table, the E5 table that we can actually look at and then read it through?
Today, step 1 is 89,000.
Okay.
$20. Step 2 is $93,463.
Okay.
Step 3 is 98,000, $137.
Mm-hmm.
Step 4 is $103,044. Step 5 is $108,197.
Yep.
Step 6 is $113,604.
Okay.
Step 7 is $119,285, and step 8 is $125,251.
So this level 5 table caps out at step 8 and at 125.
Well, it is not-
That's
is
the top
eight,
step.
yeah,
That's the
top
top
step
step
is
that
eight.
exists. Okay. And so the reason I'm asking this is a twofold reason, and you'll see the wind up to this in a second. In 3 years' time, if you were to move to this new table and you progress the steps, do you anticipate yourself or an equivalent director asking for another table adjustment to be added on top of the table? You're right, because we'll be in the same place in 3 years. In 3 years' time, you'll be at the top step of a new wage table. And the same exact arguments you're making now probably could apply to that conversation.
It's taken me 10 years to ask.
No, that, I understand that, but we will be you will be at the top of a wage table,
Right.
and you'll be capped out, and you'll only be getting the GWI for years that are in forward of that. We could have probably a copy and paste conversation of what we're having right now. So, when I think about wage tables and I think about wage growth, I look at the tables, I look at the possibilities of where we go, but also want to make sure that employees have a clear understanding that once you get to the top of a wage table, that's normally the top of the wage table, and then absent splitting a wage table, which is something you can do, normally the new steps aren't added to the top, because what you do is create a bubble. So do you anticipate, and you don't, obviously, maybe a different world in 3 years, but who knows, but do you anticipate that if that were to be the case, we'd be having the same conversation, whoever's sitting here in 3 years?
I do not.
Okay, that's helpful. What other officers of the town, because these are not, or administrators of the town, because these are not, they're non-bargaining unit members, so they're not part of a collective bargaining agreement, they direct deal with us and the town manager to set their salary. Who else is in the E5 table?
The only one right now is currently Shauna, and you guys took her off table last year.
And so so last year, she was an E5 what?
Step 8, but you guys increased her, so she doesn't follow a table anymore.
So she's past step 8.
When, if we were to ever hire a new assessor in the future, not saying that will be happening, will that new assessor ever be put back onto the correct wage table and not be floating out in space?
That would be my intent.
Okay. Thank you for going through that exercise with me. It was helpful.
So let me just give you this, since you're thinking scenarios. If you're inclined to disregard my recommendation of the freeze, tonight you're only here to approve E5 through step 6 in Kara's case, and disregard the last recommendation as stated on your budget page. If that's where you're going. If not, then my recommendation,
With non-union employees, how are steps governed? Do they get a step automatically each year, or does it follow, like, what has been the practice? Do we follow the union contract? Because, like, there are years that there are freezes in steps, depending on how the economy is doing and the municipal ability to pay. So whose contract do they follow for determining steps right now?
town manager's recommendation.
So there is no pattern or practice where every year they, if the bargaining unit that is equivalent gets a step, they get a step, or vice versa.
That's correct. If the
Okay.
collective bargaining agreement authorizes step for the union members, there's approximately, I believe, 11 non-bargaining. It's hard to balance a budget on the basis of these 11.
Sure,
And
no,
then
I understand.
And then you definitely get compression,
Yeah.
as pointed out, if you don't,
Yeah, and that's what's, so in the past, when I've dealt with compression at the top, normally what I do is I either split a step or I give a different GWI to this top than I do to the rest of the people, because when somebody gets a step and a GWI, normally there's a delta between each step, so a step would be something like a 3% increase, right? And then they get a 3% or a 2.5% GWI, so their wage growth is 5.5%, but then the person at the top doesn't get a step, so their wage growth is actually smaller, and you have a compression problem, because the person at the step below ends up kind of catching up. So sometimes you have to, depending on how the numbers work out, it depends. Sometimes you give a 1% or a 0.5% or a 0.25% to the person on top to just kind of pop it up a little bit so the delta stays even. Sometimes you don't. So that's what becomes really tough, because these are non-bargaining unit members. It's kind of like the floor is raising underneath them. And that's just kind of a generic labor law
That's if we
situation.
don't give them a wage adjustment.
Correct.
They've received the wage adjustments.
Correct.
What, 1% of
Don't ask.
1,000's a lot less than 1% of 10,000.
Correct. And so
So
that is
someone-
generally why there's different, sometimes you do table splitting, which is when there's a different GWI applied to the top than the bottom. That's why you sometimes table split. And that's exactly right, because a 3% of 100,000 is gonna be a lot more than 3% of 60,000. Right, so you kind of sometimes mix and match those numbers in negotiations, classically. So, at least what I mean, here's where I'm at. I didn't agree with taking somebody off table last year. I don't think we should have done that, but the body did do that. And I think given that the body has done that in the past, I don't think we should replicate that, but rather, I think if the council deems it appropriate to move these two positions to this new level, then we move them to the new level, and I don't think we freeze steps. I think we have them progress like anybody else on that level would be, with the understanding that we are not gonna be playing leapfrog again. I mean, there'll be a different council here, and it won't be us, but, could be us, who knows? But, could be some of us, I don't know, whatever that will look like. Whoever's sane enough to continue. So, I mean, that'll be their decision to make, but I would recommend personally moving them to E5 with the step progression as the town manager deems fit each year for the step progression. So if the town manager recommends a step, he recommends a step. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But at least with the opportunity for those step increases, depending on how the world looks at whatever the time the budget's being put together. I do think that the request without the GWI is a relatively small jump between the 109 to the 117. I think that, because the 117 includes the GWI and the step, so it's both of them together. So I do think it's reasonable that directors that are doing as much as the two of them are doing move like that, but I also think that if we don't move one, we can't move the other. I think we have to have parity with these two positions.
Sir, we're gonna be looking at three.
Three. Well, who's the third that has made the request?
The future HR director.
Okay, so these positions would all be coupled together? Even though we set the HR director position at last council meeting lower, we were gonna reassess that?
Well, when we did that, that position was in line with these two positions.
Yeah.
I would not recommend these two positions advancing unless that position also advances.
Correct, okay, I understand. So this is the ripple of the pond that we're in now. So I think that that's reasonable, this level for those employees. They oversee a lot of staff, they oversee a lot of programming. I think it's reasonable, but we have to be consistent with it and have a very consistent and on-the-record reason for doing it, because I don't want every single position I don't want this to be carte blanche on every table adjustment in the world being done.
So again, Mr. Mayor,
Yep.
right now, all you have to deal with is E5, step 6, and disregard the last part on the page, in the middle of the page. The frozen part.
The frozen part. Yeah, I think if we move them to a table, it's only fair that they move through that table that is in existence, but we're not, I would recommend to a future council not to take people off table.
So James, what are we talking about, the 117,012?
It would be to move the library director, my recommendation would be to do it based off of the plan. So to move the library director's salary to E5, step 6. That would be my recommendation, to do it like that, and then, future councils can continue to do whatever they need.
So it is the amount, Councilwoman Luna pointed out, and that is figured into the budget, so.
Yeah, the 559,034,
So there would be no change to the final line item number?
right, it has that 117 in it.
Okay.
So am I to understand that every year I'm gonna have to ask to move up a step, or I'm gonna follow the
That's a town, because you're a non-bargaining unit employee, steps are at the discretion of whatever the employment agreement that you have with the town is. So if your employment agreement with the town doesn't say you get a step every year, then that is something that, when you have your review with the town manager, you'll have to say, I'd like my step, or however it works. You guys manage amongst yourselves. So if you do your step every, I think it would be part of your request each year I assume you make it.
on our anniversary, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Normally, steps are are automatic, wage adjustments are at the discretion of the town.
whatever the practice is, that's what I'm saying. Whatever the practice is, it would continue. I would leave that in the hands of the town manager to make those discussions, and then, correct, yeah.
I'm just curious how these are established in the first place. Is like E4
Yes.
usually considered,
We're moving
like
this
how,
one. She's
Based on
asking to
on a
117
study, a number of years back.
to go, but it brings her
How
to a
long
new
ago? It
table.
was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. Correct, for now.
I mean, is it paired to like a particular number of like
Amy, and you have to do it for
reports
HR.
and, like how many staff you have, whether or not you're a member of a union, like where does that?
There's 11 non-bargaining unions, the rest of them are union employees.
I'm just wondering what these codes, like, so E means exempt probably or something like that, non-union? No? Oh, no? Okay, I don't know.
No, the N's are hourly, the E's are salary.
Okay, okay, I got the rough idea then. And then like a 3 means what, like how do you determine which is a 3, which is a 4, which is a 5? Is there like a set?
There's a guidance that was done based on salaries. Yeah, salary study, and they have all the positions and what levels they're gonna be.
And so,
It's like the non-union
and,
guidelines.
and so would this instance match the responsibilities and demands of this job line up with a 5 rather than a 4?
No, it was at a 4. That's where in 2007, that's where it matched, it lined up.
So who else what are the equivalent positions that are also in a 4?
An exempt,
No one else is an exempt.
Who else are non-exempt in the 4?
Scott Harris, he's in a union, but he's a 4.
No, John's higher.
John's higher, I think it's on, I can look at, look at, I think, no, he's in E3.
I guess the reason I ask is like the mayor is saying, I don't want to be haphazard about things. It sounds like Kara deserves to be at a fairly executive level of pay. She runs a large department with a lot of reports and a lot of budget and demands, but I don't know how these things are determined, so it's hard for me to make a recommendation sitting up here in front of this microphone.
Is the wage table that we're looking, are the wage tables that we're looking at written out anywhere? Are they in the back of one of the collective bargaining agreements?
The non-bargaining is not.
Can you, that, what you're holding in your hand, can you pass that around to us so we can look at that? Because we're shooting in the dark. Right, I don't know what's up, I don't know what's down. So there are 11 non-bargaining unit members.
Correct.
Who are at higher classifications?
Highest is the finance director, the public works director, and the police chief.
Okay,
They're in the same level.
and you're but one above them? Because, right, you're a part of, you're not, yeah.
The town manager is not in a level.
Okay, so there's 3 that are in that highest level,
Yes.
and that's the police chief, the finance director, and what was the other one you said? And Public Works,
Director.
okay. Then the category below that, how many people are in that category?
E6 for non-bargaining.
I believe it's the captain.
The captain.
Okay, and that's the only person in that level.
Yes.
And then the level below that is E5. Right now, it's the assessor floating a little above it, but the assessor.
The assessor position. He's not in.
He's union.
Oh, I'm sorry, those are exempt.
Oh, John Harriman's in a union.
No, union.
Okay.
Yeah, John Harron's in a union.
How much does John Harriman make? Or let me take the person out of it. How much does the current town engineer
Town
make?
engineer.
Yeah, not specific to him as a person.
135 or 140?
I can tell you in a minute. Starting July 1st, it will be 145.
Okay. And he manages a staff of 2, right? One?
Two.
2. And I know he has to have a heightened degree, but you have to have a master's of library science too, right?
Correct.
Okay. And then, so that's,
And
so,
staff 15.
And he's also the.
I know,
the
deputy
agreement that
public-
he's the assistant public works
yeah, I know. And that's why he's higher than what even they're proposing to move themselves to. So I'm just trying to get an org chart kind of flowing. So then we're at E5, which is Shauna, the current assessor, and potentially these 3 with HR. Then below that is E4. They're the only 2 currently in E4.
Correct.
And then E3 is,
So I believe Amanda's in E3.
I think
E3, because she's the chief executive secretary, right? Of the-
Amanda is in E3.
Okay. Anybody else in E3?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Is there an E2?
What's
Sherry's in E1.
Okay, and then there's E1.
Rest
Okay.
are,
Okay, so that helps me get an idea of where the flow is. And I think, I mean, I don't know if this helps you, Jim, but it helps me a little bit to kind of be like, okay, if that's where the levels are, I think it does seem like it's a little deflated for where you are, based off of the amount of employees you supervise alone.
well, I certainly support E5, so.
Yeah, no, I know, but the question is about future, I know we only have to make a decision about E5, 6 right now, but to Jamin's point, we're really making a decision about more than that, because we're talking about how we do our tables, and without an actual new wage study, if our old one's from 2007, without an actual full wage study, we're kind of still, maybe that's something the HR director can help with when we hire him or her.
Well,
That's,
we recently did do the unions, local 30.
I'm just gonna
We
look
did
over
theirs, and we did, adjustments there, if you remember, and we did do adjustments with the town hall.
Yeah. So this would be so they would be in E5, which is this one. I mean, that makes sense to me. Okay. So they would be moving from here, this is the table that they're at. And she's there right now. So I'm sorry, let me narrate what I'm looking at. So right now, the table, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna use people's names. I'm gonna say the Human Services Director and the Library Director. I know, but I really shouldn't be talking about employees specifically. I need to be talking about positions. The Library Director and the Human Services Director at 109, 739, 85. That's the top step of the category of E4. Should there be just the plain GWI applied to them, they'd be at 113. What they're asking to have happen is for them to move to E6, E5, which is currently at 108, 197.
No, E5,
Nope.
step 6.
Step 6. Oh, I'm sorry. Which is 113, 60420, which would be what they would be at today with the GWI if we were to apply it for their next year. And they're asking to move to that table because there's the potential of wage growth for the next 2 years. Okay,
That's without the GW.
that's without the GWI. With, the 117 is with the GWI. Got it. That's the one we're talking about today. So they'll be moving here to, essentially, it's a lateral move, but just with some potential future growth.
With approximately, the steps are 5%, so it would be approximately an 8% increase.
5% between steps?
Yes.
Okay. Those are big steps. Okay.
Leaps.
Those are big leaps, yeah. Those are, normally steps are like 3%.
Looking for a
Okay.
percentage adjustment.
so.
The percentage is there.
That's, okay. Does anyone have any questions? I've monopolized too much of our time. Thank you, and thank you, Jamin, for making us
So
go
I would
through that.
support
That's a good exercise.
E5. If the council is not desirous, then don't put any restrictions and move them according to what I recommend today for this budget. E5, in this case, the library, E5, step 6.
Okay. So, yeah. So, I guess we'll do should we do two motions, one to move the table and then one for the overall line budget item? Cassidy's shaking her head, so I'm gonna say that's a yes.
Are we removing the frozen?
Yeah, I think that would, well, if the council wants to, I think that would be part of the motion. So if I can have a motion to move the library director to pay Plan E, Level 5, Step 6, with no recommendation of a step phrase. Frozen, sorry. Yeah. Made by Paula, second by Jamin. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Aye, opposed, abstention, motion carries. And now can I have a motion to approve 817,502 to the overall library budget?
So moved?
Made by Jamin.
Second.
Second by Jack. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. 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 Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Thank you.
Amy, you can go home. Kara did all your hard work.
The posse left. No, the posse's still here, sorry. I see the posse. The posse's still here. Thank you. Kara, just one quick note for you. If you are gonna be distributing this anywhere, I don't know if it's gonna be distributed anywhere, there's a couple small little typos. Okay. Okay, yeah, on the graph, that's all. And I wish I looked like that still. I was like 30 pounds lighter in that picture. I know. I know, spring's coming. I'll be running miles. We did number 19 yesterday. Do we need to do that again today? Yes, Mr. Town Manager.
I would recommend we move the social services up.
Move Amy up.
Oh, before building inspection.
Okay, we can do that. That's fine. Human Services, number 39.
Yes, sir.
We shall go there. Good evening.
I did have something that I brought to share. I did reach out to most of the towns, put out a salary survey to see what was out there. And I can share what is here and the caps that surrounding towns and similar sized populations are at. I don't need to, but you'll see, yeah, I did get it, but if you wanna see where other human services director, their maxes are, you can see we're very far behind. And most other towns do not, we do not pay an additional staff person as a senior center director. I'm all of it, so I'm actually saving the town at least $70,000 in the senior center director position. I can pass it out, or we can.
Yeah, I would love to see it. If you've done a wage study, I'd love to see a wage study.
I just want to try and
Move it along? No, we can be quick about it, but I think, Kara got the opportunity to show us her research. It's only
Oh,
fair.
yeah, copies for each?
Yeah.
Good, good. I thought
Thank
we
you.
were talking about each.
Thank you. Other towns built this out, so it's not exactly like the range.
She did on the way to work.
On our way to
Okay. Thank you, Amy. Do you want to present about the rest of your budget?
Well, I'm not asking for anything else in human services.
There's a
The only thing
CNR.
I'd like to point out is,
I thought there was a CNR.
the position, part-time position, there's no cost, and it's not in this it's outlined in this budget, but it's gonna come out of the opioids, so there's no cost. I mean, that's youth services, wrong one.
Okay.
Sorry.
Services, yeah,
So we have, the divisions that you oversee, you see human services, senior services, transportation services, youth services, right? Okay, so let's just start with human services. No other changes in admin other than the salary, correct? Okay, so, to avoid going through the same exercise, based off of our previous conversation, do I have a motion to move the Director of Human Services to pay Plan E, Level 5, Step 6, with no step freezing?
So moved.
I'll give it to Jamin, I'll second it to Paula. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Now there's the overall line item of 160,949. Any further discussion on that before a motion for it? Amy, the ED Center never got back to us, right? They didn't get back to me.
it's like this year's budget.
Yeah.
We haven't sent them money because we reached out and tried to follow up calls.
Yeah, they had emailed us, the ED Center had sent a letter asking, saying they do homeless support. And they said they serviced like 170 residents, and I asked, I know they're unhoused, but when they were formerly housed, were those Cromwell residents? Were they Middletown residents? Were they Portland residents? Like, I imagine that they must ask, like, where did you previously live? Or I'm just trying to see, since it's our money going to them, are these Cromwell residents that are needing the lift and the help? Not to say we shouldn't fund it, just so I can understand, like, are there a lot of residents of our town that are utilizing the unhoused services that they provide? I just thought it would be helpful. They didn't respond. Okay, any questions on this, anything else in that budget? No. Okay, hearing none, can I have a motion for 16949?
So moved.
Made by Jamin, second by Jack. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. The only thing I would say is if groups are gonna be asking for money from the town, they really should answer us when we ask them questions, but that's for another day. Senior Center, Amy, go ahead.
So I did send the town manager and finance memo adjusting the part-time wages. That's on the.
Pass the memo out to you then.
Okay, so the yoga instructor should be 4 hours a week, not 3 hours a week, so it brings the part-time wages to 44,554. And the total department request would be 188,402.
Okay.
She was approved for additional hour last year, and does 4 hours of yoga classes. And I keep all the seniors healthy, right, Paula?
Well attended, those programs?
Overly attended. We're running out of space.
For your yoga classes?
Yeah.
So, Mr. Mayor, you gotta add, $2,620.
So I just was gonna make a motion to change it to 44, right? Can't they just make a motion to change it?
Sure, we can do that.
That's the bottom line.
Is, I'll give them the number.
Okay.
So, do folks, any other questions about this agenda? I don't.
I can already see,
No, there's just two.
I
Go
mean,
ahead, Jamin.
I'm pretty happy with all this. I mean, you've done a great job. I think we spend so much money on like other things and almost nothing on seniors in this town. And it's great to see that, the uptake, right? I mean, come on here, seriously. And, great job.
Thank you, Jamin.
Yeah, well, I mean,
She
I'm
wears
just
a
saying.
lot of hats, too.
Yeah, wow, all right.
What percentage of our town population are seniors, Amy?
A third.
30%, and I know Kara had the click number. How many clicks do you guys, I know they have to sign in now, how many clicks do you get at the senior center events, or swipes?
Depends, it's about per day
Or overall, do you have like
per
the,
year, but about 130 per day. So you got, whatever,
yeah,
first 30 come in.
and
bring
you're
their
doing that,
class and go home,
you're
and-
doing that on a budget of $185,000, so 130 a day. Yeah, okay, that's a pretty good return
Plus
on
all these
investment.
events, they have all
Yep,
these
no,
different.
that's my point, like,
Yeah.
We do a lot of grant funding, if we want something, we'll find grants before tax dollars.
yep,
Outstanding. does bring in a lot of money through
Yep.
grants.
Go right out.
Amy, a question. In the past year, on and about, what was the total figure of grants money you brought in on and about?
That was on the page.
Breaks out, like, do you want the senior center? So I did
Overall?
together, in a year, it's about like 130,000 each year. It averages out, so, like, right now, we just got 520,000 for the nutrition services, or just about 2 days ago, we got $5,000 for an opioid grant. So, averaging out, like, I did put this together, 1.518 million.
Who's the one that
Since I've
applies?
been here, I personally wrote and was awarded like 950. But with all the grants that I oversee, with the enhancement grants, new services, it's 1.5 million.
900, you said 900 in what?
28,000
I read it in the letter.
You're close to $1 million.
$1 million, yes.
since 2017 that you've brought in.
Right to have my own salary.
Great.
But part of the salary, so, like, some of it can come from other sources.
Yeah.
Amy,
If
I'm
it
not,
was a profit.
Amy, who writes the grants?
She does.
You do? In-house, naturally? Yeah, oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Fill in the blank.
Do I have a motion to increase the part-time wages for the 4th hour of the yoga instructor to that $44,000 number that was mentioned? Made by Paula, second by Jamin. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Then can I have a motion to approve the 188, 302?
So moved.
I'll give that to Jack, and then I'll give the second to Paula. There you go, because, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Okay, now we are on transportation. Amy? Oh, should I do youth services first? I'm sorry, did I skip youth services?
No, 41.
It's
41.
contractual.
No, 41.
It's no budgetary increase, it's, the salaries look like they're a little higher, it's because the drivers did get a bump through the union, but other than that, we roll with what we got. We have 4 buses, we have a new grant coming in, 4.5 buses. But our fleet is in great shape. The bus we'll have will replace our oldest one now, which is 2016. They're whacked in here, I don't know what they're driving, but they're all up to par and safe, so.
Okay, any questions on transportation? I'll start with my right. Okay.
I will say that my neighbor uses it and loves it, so at least I know somebody that's making use of it and,
Lifesaver for
yeah,
them.
yep,
Young
absolutely.
drive, And very, very popular service.
I have an unrelated question for you, but it's related to transportation. When we have to do the tour with the state for that cultural district thing, and we have to bus them around, are we able to use those buses for that event, or how does that work?
Yeah, she had reached out, so if far enough in advance, like, she didn't know how many people, so.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
So our buses can hold 17. If we need 2 buses, we book out, so.
Yep.
people,
It'll be booked as
but
just a,
As soon as you guys know, let me know and I can block off that time.
Yep.
We can do the bus
good,
without.
thank you. And then my secondary question for you, sorry, here's another one. If the Riverport Festival needs additional overflow parking, would those shuttles be available? Would they be able to take out of their budget for, like, the time for the drivers to go back and forth? Like, how would that work?
So I had talked to them about this too, so like
That's what I'm
recreation
asking, like, how
during
does that work?
their,
Is it out of her budget? That's what I'm asking.
some of their evening programs, so our budget is 8:30 to 4 with our drivers.
Okay, so it'd be out of their budget, not
Basically,
yours.
Yeah, don't have any overtime to do that, our overtime is just if they get back.
It'd be out of their budget, that's all I was asking.
Well, it's good that we We had that conversation.
Yeah, so out of that $5,000 of department expenses that we gave them, that would be what they would use if they chose to allocate it to this.
Yeah.
Got it. That's what I was asking, so I didn't want to have a
We've
situation
done
where.
it before, but it's come out of other budgets.
Yeah.
To
Got
pay
it.
the- To pay the drivers.
Recreation and state or whoever's.
Got it. Okay.
See, and I thought we were gonna use Al's truck and all kinds of in the back of it.
Al was gonna
Just put
shuttle.
gas in it, that's all.
Al will shuttle people around.
We
Okay.
may use the truck
So let's,
as well.
let's keep moving. If there are no objections, I'll accept a motion for the 185-416.
So moved.
Second.
Made by Jamin, second by Jack. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention, motion carries. Okay, youth services. The youths.
Okay, this is the one.
This is the one he's been anxious to get to. So this is, we have, a part-time employee who has been a part-time employee for the town, worked in recreation before, works in youth services, phenomenal employee. With the increased opioid responsibilities, duties, and the cannabis dollars that are coming in that are identified usage for youth services, we have an opportunity to expand our programming.
No, I'm just telling you, go easy on the cannabis. I haven't signed off on
He
that.
likes,
How much money came in for the cannabis this year?
It's about a little over 19, but, they're,
19,000?
that we have, but they're behind by 2 months, I believe.
How much cannabis is that sold?
So the last
Last
one
report I got,
was over
19,000.
200,000 in sales.
oh, it was 250,000.
In December, it was a high sales month.
Merry Christmas.
A lot of Christmas presents.
Okay, okay.
That's what it must have been.
That's what,
Christmas presents.
I agree, council member. And I agree. Okay. So the point is, this is revenue neutral, cost neutral. We have revenue that will be paying for this?
Opioid money.
Okay.
I gave you a spreadsheet.
opioid money. And, oh, I'm sorry, in our juvenile review, we get funds for juvenile review board. The person already works for us part-time, and then we
Got
have
it.
contracted services, she's already our JRB case manager, basically she's working for us without full-time status. So if we add a few more hours, she can help with the opioid outreach and prevention, and we can have more regular, office go, like, one of my full-time staff is out sick in that office.
People would be available.
And the office is empty because there's part-time
Yeah,
staff.
yeah.
Today I was running back and forth because people were wanting.
So this is another area where the state, used to take care of this, and they passed it on to the municipalities, where we had to have a juvenile review board.
Mm-hmm.
You get grants, don't get me wrong, but it's still something that the state used to do when, arrests were made or referrals were made to juvenile court, which is, almost non-existent.
Got it. And am I reading this correctly? The youth services department this year, of the 22 events that they had 10,000 participants in their 22 events that they've had so far this year?
Yes, so if you do school assemblies at all
Okay.
the schools, you do we've done.
Field days, field trips? Okay, wow.
We've been at the
It's a lot of people.
parks, the camps, yeah.
Oh, that all count, okay, got it. That all comes from here too. Okay.
If I can recommend, when you do this one, you make the part-time or a full-time employee subject to the availability of funds through the opioid,
So, yeah, I did a
Settlement.
little spreadsheet to show you how we're gonna pay for it. In the back.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm showing you, we're gonna eliminate the 5,000 contracted services.
Yep.
We're gonna use 6,000 out of the JRB grant,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna use 25% of the opioid money.
Okay, I got it. So, motion number one will be to contingent on the availability of ongoing revenue from the opioid funds to increase the hours of the recreation and youth aid to full-time?
full-time status.
To full-time status. So that's the first motion. If anyone wants to
So
make that.
moved.
Made by Jamin,
Second.
second by Jack. Any discussion on that? I just want to confirm for the record that we have that contingency, Cassidy, written as part of it. So if those funds ever go away, then that position will accompanyingly drop back down, and just make sure whoever is in that position understands that should those funds ever go away, that we will have to have another conversation. Okay, but those funds are guaranteed for like a period of time, right? 18 years. Okay. So, 18 years. 18 years. In year 20 or 19, we will have to have another conversation. That won't be me.
Worried about this. But I just wanted to make it clear so you understood.
Okay, so the motion's been made and seconded, discussion's been had. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstention, motion carries. Now can I have a approval of the 144,898? Made by Paula?
Second.
Second by Jack. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. And you have one CNR item as well.
The bus.
The bus, which is reimbursable, right? Isn't that the way that this works?
80%.
I'm sorry, it got cut off. I put 80% and I didn't, make my spreadsheet wide enough, so I moved it down.
Oh, I see, that 80, and so it's not 809. I thought it was like an 809.
80% grant funded, and I will move it down the line to 45.
But this is one of those grants where we have to pay for it first and then we get reimbursed later.
Correct.
Okay. Any questions about the senior transportation van? Okay, so we'll vote on that when we do all of our CNR at the end? Yeah, okay. Okay, any questions about the van going once? Amy's still here, going twice, going three times? Okay,
I
thank
mean,
you.
I guess, is this replacing the 2016 one you have? Okay.
Do we sell that? What do we do with that?
Last year or the year before, DOT, because they have somewhat of an vested interest.
Amy, could you talk to the microphone, please?
There's just a different selling process, so we can sell this this 2016 was the first 80-20 grant that we got since I was here, so this was our first bus. Last year, DOT changed their rules a little bit on sale of vehicles, so I did talk to the mechanic and let him know I'd get the paperwork, but the state looks to see how much you could sell the vehicle for. Because it was an 80-20 grant, they might want a little portion of the sale. I don't know all of the rules, so I do have to look into them. This would be the first time we're doing it, so DOT used to give the titles after 5 years. They stopped doing that, so they haven't sent us the titles of the
So
new
they
vehicles
still own
after.
the car or the bus?
Well,
Now they're registered to us.
yeah, they're
Oh, they are
registered,
registered to
but
us, okay.
they're, I don't know.
But they want their money
All
back.
previous buses
They
have been
might
sold
want a
to
little
public
portion of
auction.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
So I will get the language once I get it from DOT. I asked DOT for this, like, if we were to sell this 2016 van, what do we need to do? And
Okay.
how much money would they want from it? Or we just keep it and,
No,
like, paint it and give it to, I don't know, somebody else.
I could.
The manager,
Take into account.
town
Going
manager, yeah.
back to CNR now, and since we have the Board of Ed representative here,
Yeah, we can do that.
We can roll through.
We can roll through that so Claudio doesn't have to sit and listen to us chuckleheads any longer than he has to. Thank you, Amy.
Okay, thank
You're
you
all set. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cassidy, I'm just gonna pass these documents over to you so you can make them part of the record.
Oh. Is this,
Yeah, those are what we were passing around, so that way,
everybody got one of these.
I know, but still, just put it, oh, you have one? Okay. Okay,
Okay,
This I see.
waiting for winter.
it's fine. Okay, Claudio, welcome to the Shark Tank.
Good evening.
Good evening. Alrighty, so we have a list of 18 capital items from the Board of Education. You have prioritized them. What I'd like to do is to go through each of them, have you give a description of what the item is, where the quote comes from, the information about each of them, and then we can have discussion on them. And then, once we're done with these items, we can go through all 20-something of the CNR items all together and make the final decisions on them all. So everyone on board with that? Okay. So go ahead, Claudio, as you are.
The first item is the indoor air quality assessment. It's for the high school, it's priority one.
Yep.
It's required by the state annually. It's part of a continuous inspection of the HVA system regarding balancing, making sure all the equipment is working correctly, and it comes with a recommendation of what the improvements should be to correct the system. Again, the state requires that 20% of all the schools be done every single year. We are working on our first one. We actually gone out to bid and, on the first one and didn't get a response. We went out to bid again and updated the information, and that occurred this month in March. The number came from some of the responses that other districts have received per school of similar size that we have. There's a large demand since the state recently put this mandate in place. So, here we are. This is for the second school of the 4 schools that we have.
Sorry, go ahead, Claudia, we're listening.
The second item is to replace the failing water heater at the Cromwell High School. It's priority 1. The water heater has been diagnosed with a hot spot. It's failing from the inside out. The insulation is not adequate or has lost its insulating properties. It honestly can fail at any moment. The quote received by Tucker Mechanical is $35,985. Number 3 is communication system upgrade. It's district-wide. It's priority 1. The new middle school has a Mitel system phone system. The current ones that we have in the other 3 schools are obsolete or about to become obsolete. So a new system was installed in the new middle school, and this is a request to update the other 3 schools to match the one at the middle school. The 2 systems do not communicate well with each other. There's some communication issues regarding being able to call other schools. We've done a circumvent around it, but the systems that are at the other 3 schools is expected to become completely obsolete in the next couple of years. So we want to catch up and match all 4 schools.
Can I just ask a question about this one, because the phones won't call the other phones, or like, what does this
They
mean?
do. You can't do it internally. You have to call, like as if you're calling outside.
So you have to press like 9 before you dial another school in the district?
Rather than-
Is that the only change between, that would be from the old system to the new system?
No, the old system is obsolete in the sense that they're not, the company that makes that system is not gonna continue to make it until they run out of parts that they have in stock to maintain it. After that, they become.
So that's
completely
like the
obsolete.
physical, so this is including upgrading the physical phones and the system that it operates on?
Correct. Change the system.
Replacement. So every classroom has a phone, those phones will all be replaced with this?
Correct.
And right now, the problem is those phones work, but if they break, they may not be replaced, and if you don't dial 9, you don't get out.
Well, you get out.
But not,
When you
okay.
gotta call from one school to the other, you can't dial directly. You have to actually
Is this
dial
some,
out and dial back in.
is this something that can be done in like phases as a refresh of like school by school for the phones, or is this something that has to be done all in one swoop?
Until the systems fail and then we don't have replacement parts, then we're faced with a crisis.
Are there phones right now at the 3 schools that are inoperable?
No, they're currently all working.
Okay, got it.
Your question is, could they be done phased in? Theoretically, you could do 1 school at a time.
Yeah, that's just what I'm asking, because that's a big number. And
It's a lot of phones. And
Yeah.
they're important.
I got that. Okay, as you work, keep going. I'm sorry to interrupt. Unless people, do we want to pause there? Do people have questions on that one? Because that one was one that like jumped out to me. Go ahead, Mr. DeProto.
Thank you. Thanks for being here, Claudia, and your patience.
Great to see you, too.
Yeah, thanks. I'm just curious, like, I don't remember phones being in my classrooms, so what are these for? What does each classroom have a phone for?
It's required by law to have a
Required by
phone
law.
in every single classroom in case
You'd
of
have-
emergency.
Okay, I see.
And also whether you're reaching the staff member, the phones could also be used besides 911. They could be also used through the system as an all-call into the PA system.
Public safety.
It's required by the state.
And by law,
Department
we
of
have to have
Education.
it.
You need a phone in every space. every office, every classroom, any place where someone might be in.
Hey,
If
that,
there's an event, there's a phone that
interesting. All right, thank you. That's certainly, it's certainly something. That's a big,
And if the council wishes to do it in phases rather than all at once, I can work with our IT manager to determine what each individual school would
Yeah.
be. Again, every year the price goes up too.
Yeah, of course. Out of curiosity, with the three schools, is there one school that has the oldest phones? Like, is there one school that is like the older than the other two? That like, because CHS got renovated in like the '90s, so like, are those the newest phones and ECS has the oldest phones, or are they all the systems? Okay, you're shaking your head, so they're all the same.
No, they're all the same, they're all the same period, they're all the same time.
If we were, let's say hypothetically, how long do these phones last? The system, is this like a 20-year system, 10-year system?
Don't know, sir.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is like hypothetically in a decade, if we were to renovate the elementary school, would we be duplicating this cost in a decade? Because the phones could have lasted 20 years, but now we're doing a new elementary school, renovating an elementary school, and we need to rip all the phones out again. Like, I'm just trying to think ahead a little bit about how long this investment lasts for.
Reuse it.
Yeah,
like,
reuse
have
it.
any failed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't have an answer to that.
Okay.
You'd have to ask the engineers how long the system will be useful for. I don't know where technology is gonna go in the future.
These are all landlines, right? Hardwired in?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they're not wireless.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
just-
This is how they, you realize this is how they stay in business.
I know this is how they stay in business. It's planned obsolescence.
Yeah.
It's just a lot, it's
If
just
there's
a
no other
lot to spend.
question, I'll keep going.
Yes, thank you, sir. We're just struggling to think about how much phones cost.
The next three items are security system renewal. They're the cameras at the schools. Many of them, again, are old, becoming obsolete. Some of them have failed. The lenses are going, there's no replacement parts. So if you look at the report, the actual, I'll give you an example. ECS, to replace the entire system, is $328,000. What we're asking is $60,000 to replace the worst cameras and try to do this in phases and stay up on them rather than replace the entire systems all at once. This also gives us a little capability to save some of these parts. Maybe we can continue to keep them alive longer. The one at the high school is $685,000, and we're asking for $50,000. The cameras at ECS are actually in worse shape than the ones at the high school and the middle and at Woodside. And we're asking for $40,000 for WIS, but to replace the entire system is $372,000. Right now, we just want to replace the head end. Outdoor cameras are much more expensive than the indoor cameras because of the pixels needed, because you're looking at a greater distance. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a quick one. So, well, I think you already said you don't know how long it lasts, and 'cause I'm thinking of ECS, and as the mayor mentioned a few minutes ago, and we do this, we do, you know, there's there's a number of issues here to do at ECS. What my thought would be, what activities can we do, what products can we purchase that will make it a better place to be for the next, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years? And then what happens? And how much do we spend to own those 3 or 4 years?
Well, you're going to have to continually invest in ECS.
Yeah, upgrade.
Last year, we had a little bit of a discussion regarding ECS, and I can tell you that if you approve today, at today's meeting, that you're gonna completely renovate ECS, it won't be done for another 5 years. Just because of the process and
Everything you have to do, yeah.
the process before and then the construction. So, one of the things I mentioned in the past, and you've heard me say it, you have two choices. You either keep putting money into ECS, or you bite the bullet and do it all. This is keep putting money into ECS to keep that building going and keep things working without starting from scratch. There will be a day when there's no more, there's no way you can fix it anymore. I know. It is. It's hard to spend money on something you know that you plan to replace in the future, but it's not something you can park in a garage and say, well, I can't afford it now. I'll buy a new car 3 years from now. For now, I'll just keep it in the garage. We still have to use it every day to get to work. Excuse me? Yes, and we do. This is not maintenance. This is capital improvements. This is replacing components.
Mr. Claudio?
Yes.
One thing I liked about you when you first came to the podium, everybody was talking about Edna C. Stevens got to be replaced. And you stated that one particular time, we can buy time, at least 10 years with no problem without going into debt to replace the Edna C. You know, it's going to cost us money, like anything for preventive maintenance, but we don't have to panic because what we just went through this past 2 years with the new middle school. So we can buy time, and the taxpayers' money can buy time to get the other bonding down. So at that point, don't even have no clue what the bonding's gonna be when the rate and whatnot, but
Yes, sir.
what you're doing, which I appreciate, we can buy time. That's what I appreciate.
And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to present pieces of ECS to keep that building going and keep it safe and keep the kids comfortable and the staff comfortable. And that's why I'm here, and that's why you see specific pieces of ECS. I'm not changing the LED lighting over at ECS. I'm not doing improvements. I'm doing maintenance in the sense that I'm trying to keep the building going with the infrastructure that we have. I believe the bones are really good. So technology is one of those things that will continue to fail and always needs to be upgraded.
Yep. Okay.
Understand? Very good.
Let's keep, unless there are questions about the renewal specifically, let's go through the rest. Oh, go ahead, Jamie.
I actually have two questions, but one, can I go back to the previous?
Yeah, of course.
Number 3?
Yeah.
Just a thought, Claudio, on the phone system. Is it possible to buy a few backup units now before they become obsolete? And if something breaks, we can pop it into place?
Not that I'm aware of, but like I said, the company that makes those phones has ceased to develop those phones. They no longer make those anymore.
Okay.
So what we've been scavenging, we saved some pieces from the old middle school, the phones that are there.
Yeah.
We put them on a shelf, so we have some spares.
Right, exactly.
But those will continue to run out. So
Yeah.
it's either you get ahead of it, or you wait till
Okay.
it's down,
So
and then we do it on emergency.
I mean, that's a
basis.
brilliant idea. I'm glad you saved those. Have you had to use any of them yet?
I'd have to ask the IT manager.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
On the cameras, at least for ECS, I mean, or actually all of them, are they all the same kind of system? So, like, how much are we talking? Is this 10,000 a camera? What's?
My guess, or guesstimate, is pan and tilt zoom cameras, which are outside, are in the 5,000 range.
Okay.
And interior cameras are in between 500 to 1,000 range.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, go ahead and continue with the HVAC, and then we'll ask the follow-up question.
HVAC design, do the
Oh,
Gordian
sorry, Jason.
report.
Hold on one second. Jason's on our facilities committee. Jason, you had a question?
Yes, so the only other question is, so.
If you can go to Mike for me? You can go to the one next to Cassidy if it's closer, whichever one you want.
I guess, if we lump in the phones and the cameras together, and we do like the plan you said where we do say WIS and then the high school, if you take those out, can you then put those on your rack to save them for the ECS, to make ECS last longer? Would that be feasible?
Well, that's why.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, I'd have to ask the IT manager. I understand.
That's really smart.
So, let's say they do WIS,
I
right?
would
They-
assume
they
so.
take them
We're
out,
doing it
we
with-
keep them, right?
We're
Yeah.
doing it with CMS.
Okay.
We're doing it with CMS in the sense that when we
Like car
closed the
parts.
original,
Yeah.
the previous middle school,
Right.
we saved the components.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we will continue to always do that to try to keep the systems going.
Okay, yeah, so maybe we just make ECS the last one, we keep all the parts left and whatever we have, so, thank you.
Good question.
Great question. And just for the record, I mean, Cassidy, I know you just saw it, but we just invited, I recognize Jason LeBlanc from the Facilities Committee to make a comment on the record. He didn't say who he was, so like, for the audio tape. Okay. Yeah, no secret voice from beyond. Okay, go ahead, Claudio, if you want to
HVAC
continue.
design. To the Gordian report, I've estimated that based on their numbers, we need about between $4 to $5 million to replace the HVAC system in separate components. What I'm requesting is that we hire a design professional to come in and do a system analysis rather than using the Gordon report. Let's get a designer to design a system to replace that, the entire building, because all these components they all interconnect with each other, and you can't change them in pieces because then they stop understanding each other. You have components that are 20 years old and components that are 1 year old, and they just speak a different language. By hiring a design professional, we can create a set of specification and contract documents ready to apply for a state construction grant where we can get a 50% reimbursement.
That's the DAS reimbursement program, right?
Connecticut DAS,
Yeah.
correct. The Cromwell gets between 48, depending on what year, right now it's I think around 48 that we got for the middle school, about 48% reimbursement. They will accept the grant if it's properly done, with clear specification and incomplete. So rather than try to do it piecemeal and not get anything back, if it's done right and you're gonna impact the school when the work is being done, do it all at once and get half of the money back. Rather than spending $100,000 to replace 2 rooftop units and then they don't match the controls.
Yep.
There's a BMS system, building management software that controls all these components, and they're different languages.
Okay, great. Let's just keep moving through them, and then we can ask questions at the end. So next is the blinds.
Classroom blinds at ECS, so this will be phase 3 of 4. We've already done 2 phases. The original was about $100,000 to do it all. We decided to break it up across 4 years and do it in phases. This will be the 3rd of 4 phases. We have a $21,993 quote. Window air conditioning units at ECS. That building doesn't have a central air conditioning system like the other 3 schools that has window units. It has a heating system that's throughout the whole school all in one, but the air conditioning are window units like people have in their homes. Since I've been here, we've probably replaced a half a dozen, and they continue to break down. When we took down the middle school, we saved all the good ones and we put them in storage, so as they fail, we can replace them. We'd like to continue that process. Again, 23,000 probably covers about just over a dozen to 18, depending what kind of price we get for volume. And there's always some carpentry work to fit into those windows. Sawdust collecting system. The sawdust collecting system in the wood shop at the high school is still the original from 1979. It barely works. The quote that I have here is from Gordian. I believe that quote will really just upgrade the filters system in there and the thorough cleaning. The filters are these huge bags. They're probably about 6 foot long. I think there's 2 of them in these canisters. I'm having a hard time finding even a company that does that. I tried to look online, they're all over the country, but there's nobody local. So I'd really like to do is at least upgrade it, get that system cleaned out for any sawdust that is trapped in all that ductwork, and get some fresh filters in there.
If I may?
Yes, sir.
Sawdust, is this in the industrial,
Wood shop room.
didn't they discontinue it for a while or not? A couple of years back?
Since I've been here, it's been running great.
Okay. Because at one time, I know after Mr. Haynes left, they didn't, oh, Mr. Henderson, excuse me.
Mr. Henderson, yeah.
Yeah, and then I heard that they didn't do it well. But you're saying it there, which is
Oh, yeah.
good. The kids
Every time
working,
I go there, there's kids working
Kid
in
wor-
there.
working with their
And
hands.
the equipment running, and it's
Yeah.
loud in there,
Good.
and it is dusty in there.
that was just for my own, thank you.
Claudio?
Yes.
This price is for the refurbishment of the system or replacement?
It's refurbishing of the components in the system.
Filters.
To get it working more efficient and working better.
All right, just wanted to make
Um,
sure.
I made one phone call and asked about a dust collecting systems. I used the model numbers that are on there, and, over the
Absolutely.
phone, I got a quote of $248,000 for a dust collecting system. So, like I said, I really want to improve on it, because I don't think I'm ready, or we're ready to spend $250,000 for a dust collecting system. It's gonna require several years to figure out if there's a better system. Again, it's original 1979 system. It may not be necessary to put in a system that large now that they did, compared to what they did in 1979, but in the short term, I need to get it working better. It's not healthy in there. Fire suppression system, commercial kitchen hood replacement, at Woodside, priority one. This is a Gordian report. It's a chemical fire suppression system for the commercial kitchen exhaust hood. Includes fusible links, manual pull stations, suppression agent tanks and nozzles. The estimate is $18,579.
So let me just stop them there, because it is a priority one. We discussed that he possibly could do this through the BOE budget and do it as quickly as possible. Versus CNR.
So Claudio, do you think this is something that can wait till the summer, or is this an emergency that you really need to get this done now?
This can wait till the summer.
Okay.
It's working now.
Yeah.
It's old and it requires being
Hopefully
replaced.
they'll have some funding and they can use the existing funding through the budget that they have to replace at least this item.
Out of their current budget?
Yes.
Claudia, do you think you'll have money in your existing budget for that at the end of the year?
I'll have to hear that from our finance director.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's circle back to this at the end of our list, but thank you.
Domestic water storage tank, 500 gallons at the high school, priority one. This is domestic hot water is stored in 500-gallon tank, insulated galvanized steel with heating components located in the mechanical room above the stage room, room 201. Gordon report estimate is $56,305. Split system AC, 2.5-ton. It's a renewal or replacement. It's priority two. It's currently working, but it's old in age. It's a local cooling provided by single-zone ductless mini-split air conditioning system. It includes an indoor section and outdoor section, refrigeration piping. The outdoor section is located up on the roof. Per Gordon report, estimate of $26,079. I find that number reasonable because we recently replaced another one. We moved one from the middle school over to the library and the kitchen in ECS, and we spent about $8,000 just for the labor, but we know that the component, the number is reasonable, that's $26,000. Gym lighting at WIS, priority two. Last year, we received funding to upgrade the lighting for WIS school. The funding was not enough to include the gym based on the budget. So this is to complete. This will be the last section of the building that is not being replaced to LED. And where are we? Carpeting and tile renewal. Honestly, I've never seen schools with this much carpeting. I don't know if somebody was related to somebody who had a lot of extra carpeting, and because it's in all the schools, they're hard to keep clean. They're not good for health issues and breathing issues. Rather than replace them with existing carpet, I like to start converting the schools over to VCT. They're easier to keep clean. They're healthier. Again, I like to do it in phases. I can't close the school down just to replace all the carpeting, but I think I can knock off in sections, starting with the corridors, which get the most abuse, and then eventually start working into the classrooms. Vinyl composite tile, vinyl tile. Most of our work that we do has to be done in the summer because it impacts the students. We don't want workers in the building. It shuts down systems. There's very few things that really can get done during the school year, which presents a whole nother challenge because the summer's so short and our funding cycle is basically July 1st, and then the money doesn't become available till about 2 weeks afterwards, and then by the time requisitions and purchase orders are in place, we're into August, and then basically we're scrambling for it in 2 weeks to get as much work done that we can, unless we get it all done and then be ready in June by the following year. Again, we're talking about phases. With school is estimated at $588,000 to replace the carpeting. We're asking for $80,000 for phase 1, and the high school, again, it's $289,000, and I think we're asking for $60,000. And last but not least, classroom blinds replacement, beginning phase 1 over at Woodside. Again, that's priority 2, and the quote is $18,933. And number 18, which I've removed from this list, is the repave of the high school parking lot, because I've been told that that's going to be taken over by the town and handled through the town rather than this process, the CNR through the Board of Ed. And that would be 18.
Okay, so those were the 17/18 budget request items. I will now open it up to general discussion on any of the items, all of the items, and how we want to approach them. And then, once we're done talking about how we want to prioritize whichever items we want to prioritize, before we vote on a final CNR budget, I'd ask that while Claudio is here, that we look at the overall CNR, now all of them together, and then make sure that we don't have a priority list this year of all items in order, all 20-something or 30-something items in order. So Jason, just a little flag, something I'd like in the future. So let's start with any questions on the school requests, any of the items that we discussed in more detail. As we start to weigh and mix and match, by the end of this discussion, we will need to have a final vote on the overall CNR number, so it'll probably be important to go through them and decide what we want to do.
I had a few questions for Claudio, if you'll indulge me.
I will indulge all night.
All right,
Till
thank you.
midnight.
On number 11, the fire suppression system for the kitchen hood. What kind of system is there now? There's nothing? Or you don't
There
know?
is a system.
Oh,
This is to replace the system.
All right, so, usually, most of my kitchens have Ansel systems. It's like a,
I'm sure it's an Ansel system.
all right, why does the whole thing need to be replaced? I have a lot of hoods that are, in varying age and conditions, so, but what's going on with this one?
Just by the Gordon report that
They're just
recommended
saying-
that replaced because of its age and the system that is there. And
Can't, usually what we do is we have someone come in and they service it periodically, is that not?
We do that to all our schools.
Okay, and so.
That's part of the preventive maintenance program.
Yeah,
of
right.
all, and they also they're required to be inspected every
Yeah,
year.
exactly, so I don't know, did it not pass an inspection, is it
No,
just?
it passed inspection. This is the recommendation by the Gordon report.
Okay, all right, thank you. On number 13, you have a split AC system, what school is that coming from?
I believe that's ECS.
ECS?
ECS, split system, yes.
Okay, thank you. And on number 9, I guess since we're on the topic of AC, you said many of these window units are in like the 8 to 10 year range?
Yes, sir.
I was under the impression that they replaced all of them every 3 years anyway. Is that just kind of hearsay and conjecture that was proven wrong,
Yes.
Yeah.
I would need probably $100,000 every 2 years to replace all the air conditioners in all those rooms. At least $100,000, and I've never seen that kind of appropriation. and we wouldn't be able to do it in our regular maintenance budget.
Okay. Okay, I guess that's it for me. Thank you.
Any questions for you on any of these items? Jack, any questions for you on any of these items? Al, any questions for you on any of these items?
Wiz, in Cromwell High School,
Yes, sir.
there is no asbestos in any of that stuff, correct?
Not that I'm aware of. Those were built,
More recent,
one was in 2000. Wiz School was around, what, 2005?
something like
And
that.
then the high school was built in '79, and there was an addition put on in about 2001. There's still, I had to check the reports, there still might be some asbestos in the existing section of the high school.
High school, okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from Al? Any questions, Paula? Okay, seeing no questions, now we have to make a decision about, let's just stick with Board of Ed for a second, if we want to figure out which items are the go items for Board of Ed, and then once we figure out which items are the go items for Board of Ed, we can then compare them to the go items for the town and then make a master list.
James, should we look at all the priority ones first?
Yeah, so let's just go through the priority ones and see if folks are in consensus about each of them. And then if folks are in consensus about each of them, we can say they're priority ones and keep them. And then if we're not in consensus, we move them or whatever. So everyone in consensus about the IAQ assessment? That should be something that would be funded?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Everyone, it's required, so everyone's nodding their head on that one. Replacement of the water heater at the high school, is that a consensus that that's a priority?
Yes.
Okay. Upgrading the telephone system, that was a number 1 priority by the school, not recommended by the town manager. Is there any interest in splitting it like we were kind of playing with, or should we just leave it as is for now?
I would suggest that we split it up if we can.
So let me just ask this, if we were to split it up, right, let's just say we did the high school.
He doesn't have the amount for each school.
Okay. But let me ask a more esoteric kind of question. So we save, let's just say there's 150 phones of that, whatever it is. Those parts can then be put in a store, we can store them somewhere, and then if we need them for the elementary school or the intermediate school, they'll be good to go? Which school has the current oldest of the 3 phone systems?
They're all the same.
They're all the exact same, okay.
Which has the least is probably.
Which one has the least amount of phones?
I would say the smallest of the schools is probably ECS.
Okay.
ECS is about 90,000 square feet, Woodside is about 90,000 square feet, give or take 2,000, I think, one's 89 and one's 91, and the high school is 139,000 square feet. But the gym is larger at the high school, so as far as square footage goes, I would say the high school is the largest with the most number of rooms.
And again, the phones are required by state law that they have to be functioning and all that stuff?
Correct.
Okay, so if we were to divide that number by 3, I know it's not a perfect science, that would be 60,094.
If I can make a recommendation,
Sure.
I would use 50, 50, 80.
50, 50, 80, okay. So, I mean, I.
As a starting point.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I can get, hopefully, a more defined numbers before you can make a final decision at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I would be open, and if the council's not open to it, then that's fine. I'd be open to replacing like the 50 at one of the schools, so that way we have component parts for the other 2, and it gives us a little bit of flexibility for the future, so maybe we don't have to do phase 2 and phase 3 because we have it. And then I'm thinking specifically about ECS, if in 10 years we're doing a renovation and we have enough parts to float us through, then we'd never really have to do the 60 or 70,000 for ECS. We can just kind of let it, I'm just saying, right, like,
Hey, it's a maybe, we don't know.
and
Sure.
is there adequate room in the school to store all the phone parts, or would we need to like find a place for them to live? I know storage is always a problem for us.
I'll find it.
You'll find the space.
If I can save phones or,
Yeah.
just like we did with the middle school, if I can save things that I can use down the road, I'll find a shelf somewhere to
Yeah,
hide them.
I just think, and again, the council can disagree with me, we're a collaborative body. I just think that if we just kick that can down the road and the phones start breaking, then we have a situation where the state says, you're out of compliance, you need to have phones for safety in every classroom, and we don't. And then we have a problem because we're racing to try to replace a lot really quickly. That's just what my concern is.
Claudio, are there phones in the bathrooms in the schools? No?
Just in
No,
the classrooms.
It's too dangerous having a phone. Where the kids are located by themselves, there's definitely no phones. So the offices, even boiler rooms need to have phones, electrical rooms need to have phones. Wherever there's staff members working, requires phones.
So do I have any support for the 50,000 being restored to that category for one of the schools?
I'm just curious, I mean, I love the idea.
Yeah, but
I'm
we
just
don't have to
curious,
do it.
what's the scenario we're looking at? So which school kind of?
Yeah, let's talk that through then. I mean, is there a school that you would say you would do first?
I would do Woodside.
Woodside first? I heard Jason say CHS. I mean, both, you think Woodside first?
I would say Woodside if you're going with the smaller school at the 50,000. The high school buys us more time, but you're starting off with a higher cost.
You're saying, okay, that's the 80. You would say that's the 80 school.
Correct.
I was just, can I ask?
As many
Jason,
questions as you want.
If you had what your thinking is?
My thinking is that, like he said, you have both those phones.
Jamin directed a question to one of our members of our facilities committee. I recognize Jason LeBlanc.
So when Claudia said earlier that having the phones allow them to do calls internally from one location to the other, my guess is that the high school staff probably has more occasion to call the central office at the new middle school or other words, and it would be easier for them to do that as opposed to the WIS. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just my guess. That was my rationale. Yeah.
Thanks, Jason, appreciate it.
His IT people should also look into, when they went into this with us at the police department, they started refurbishing some of the phones, so you get refurbished older phones, but they've been refurbished, so they should check into that. And if that's the case, they may be able to get some of these phones refurbished. If he's successful at pulling these phones out of the Wiz, he could get them refurbished also, but they should check into that, because we did that down at the PD. We ended up having to replace existing phones with refurbished phones.
So, do we have a consensus on what we want to do with this one? Do we want to leave it as not recommended and see if there's that, or do we want to do one of the schools, the smallest would be WIS, and then start there and see how we chug along from there? Jason's point's well taken, but I think if they can save the phones at WIS, maybe that gives the other two schools a larger opportunity on life. You would recommend WIS first?
If you're doing one of the smaller schools.
Yeah, okay, so,
The best school to do is the high school, because the price is gonna continue to go up.
Right.
So you might as well knock out the large one now.
do the large, you're saying, now you're saying do CHS instead? Yeah, your recommendation CHS, not WIS?
If you're doing the smaller schools,
Do
it's
Wiz. If you're doing-
Because we have a long-term plan ultimately for ECS. But the high school is, in the long run, saves us the most money, because one, it gives us more phones to use for the other schools, and two,
More
the
phones
80,000
for,
you spend today is gonna be 90,000 next year.
Sure.
more phones for
Yeah, but
replacement.
The bottom line is, not all the phones are gonna go down at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you pull phones, you're gonna have, and on top of it,
Surplus.
with all due respect, you're knocking on the end of the road.
Yep, I
for
know.
Available funding.
Yep, I know.
If we use a number that has not yet been approved by the Board of Finance.
Right. Well, we could try 80, and,
I would go with the 50.
I think we go with the 50, we do the smaller school, and then you have the flexibility if those phones can be refurbished for the big school and the small school.
I'm good with that.
Al made a motion for the 50 to be added back in.
Oh,
Second. You want to second it, or do you want to second it?
second?
Okay.
please? No.
Who wants it?
Sure.
Jamin has it. It's been made and seconded. Any
Yeah.
further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries unanimously. My suggestion would be for that one, by the time it goes to Board of Finance, if you could get a more solid, grip on that, so that way Board of Finance can be informed.
We're gonna need a lot of information to
Yeah, Board of Finance will want the quotes, as much as that as you can develop for Board of Finance.
I'll request that the IT manager also attend the Board of Finance meeting.
Next is the CCTV renewals for the 3 schools, Phase 1. Any discussion on this one, or how we want to handle these 3?
It's closed circuit TV, right?
I think this is extremely necessary.
Okay. No phasing on this one. You don't think WIS and CHS, being newer schools, have better cameras and they can last a little longer?
This is phasing.
Oh, this is phasing. Oh, you're right. I see what, okay. Okay, so those have to get done, it sounds like.
So that's it.
Okay, then so do we think we should do all 3 this year? Is that the consent, the Phase 1 of all 3 this year? Seeing nods. How many phases? 4? This is another 4 phase.
There is, I haven't broken it down to the number of phases. It's really based on need. I only call it Phase 1 because we're not doing the entire system.
So this is to replace components of existing pieces that are, and improve picture quality of the ones that are the most troubled, exterior especially?
Correct.
This is the security.
This is security, okay.
Yeah, and if you got 328 as your estimate to replace, and we're gonna use 60, well,
Are you replacing with like, or are these like, you're taking old 1080p cameras and popping in 4K cameras? Just curious.
You'll have to ask the IT.
Okay.
And technology continues to improve.
All right.
Go to the Board of Finance, I'm gonna remind BOE again, they gotta have a ton of backup.
Yeah, they're gonna, we don't have any of the
An
quotes.
individual isn't gonna help you. You're gonna have documents and accurate amounts of what you're looking for.
Sure.
Yeah, and I know right now the Board of Ed is in the process, and I think the town is too, of upgrading our facility sheets so that they'll be more, I know we had a call on that, I think, was that this week? Oh my gosh, okay. We had a call on that earlier this week where we're talking about upgrading the sheets and what documents are required for them for the CNR, so there's been discussions about that. I can't believe that was this week, that's crazy. Okay. So those 3 we think we have to fund. The HVAC design so we can get access to the DAS money. I think that makes sense. That's like our other town engineering projects where we're engineering now in order to get the funds for later. Anyone disagree on that one?
That's a good one.
Yep. Blinds, this is Phase 3 of 4. Each year we've done sections of the school blinds so that the elementary school, which is the school that doesn't have AC, can have the blinds so they can close the heat to keep the heat out.
Reflect the heat.
So I think that makes sense. AC units are not recommended. Are we okay with keeping those out? Yes? Okay. Sawdust collection renewal system, we're okay with keeping that as the town manager's non-recommended? Yes, it looks like, here, I'm gonna.
What was that, sorry?
Yeah, sawdust.
Oh.
Do we wanna put sawdust back in?
If it's a health concern for the students, yes.
Is it safety related or?
I'm gonna, at the risk of upsetting maybe somebody, some of these items, with all due respect, it should be coming out of their operations budget. I know we do it out of our operation budget, and I understand money's tight over there, but again, I've been saying it for years, that some of these items should be taken care of by simple operation funds.
In-house.
For PM, I gotcha.
The money's coming either way.
Yeah, yeah.
We can request this money to our operating budget, and you're gonna increase the MBR.
Yeah,
So have it any way you like. If it has to be done,
But they have to have something in their operations budget to do PM.
this isn't PM.
Well, if you're gonna do, filters in a suppression system, or, I mean, we do it all the time here.
is the renewal just for new filters or is the renewal a new system?
System.
Filters.
Well, that's
It's
the question.
That's what I asked.
Yeah, it's filters, right?
It's to upgrade the system so it works more efficiently.
And maybe this is a silly question and maybe I shouldn't ask it, but I'm gonna ask it.
We can move the money into
No,
the Board of Ed
what's
with this.
I mean, with the sawdust, do they not have big shop vacs that they can,
Can't find them.
no, just like regular standard shop vacs that they can wheel out and,
No, doesn't
Bags.
work that way.
Big bags.
They're connected to the actual equipment itself.
Oh, okay, so as you
To
cut it,
ductwork, they come right into the back of, like the back of the.
so you
the back
can't
of
just
the
get a
saw
shop vac and suck up the sawdust after you're done?
Afterwards, 'cause this is to prevent it even
That's
from
why,
raising
that's why I'm
any-
asking. I mean, I don't know. I don't do this stuff.
No, the system, he's correct on the system. The system should be functioning at 100%. And, what the problem is should be diagnosed and corrected.
Okay. Do we have a quote? I mean, I know these are the
No,
quotes
sir.
from the, we don't have a quote right now on that?
No, sir.
Okay.
Like I said, the call that I made, to replace the whole system was over $200,000.
Got it. Does anyone want to restore that one? No, the 27,
To restore,
yeah.
recondition it, in other words, correct?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I tend to agree with the
It's
town
not
manager
something
that.
That's done every year. And it probably
What-
hasn't been done in 40 years.
Claudia, may I ask, what's the likelihood that this reconditioning will be successful? Like, is it sort of like, are you kind of, do you know, like, your plan to recondition it will be successful, or is it sort of like, well, we're gonna do my best, and we'll see what happens?
I'm gonna do my best and see what happens.
All right, thanks for your honesty.
I'm inclined without more specific support for whether or not the shoot in the dark will work. I don't think we should commit the funds unless we know that this is a fix that will actually fix it. I just feel like it's kind of a, maybe this will make it incrementally better, but I think we need to have more digging on this one. The sawdust, yeah. I just think, that's my opinion. I feel like we need to have a little bit more digging to, if the fixing of the filters is only gonna make it 10% or 5% better, then we're just putting lipstick on a pig. I'm sorry, right? I mean, that's what I think it sounds like. It sounds like you're just, okay, you're putting,
That's to make it look pretty.
yeah, you're putting sawdust on a, I don't know.
It's 10% of the total cost of replacing the system.
Yeah, but maybe it doesn't, but we don't know if that 10% will actually make the system last another 10 years or another 10 minutes. We're just hoping that it works, and I don't think that's enough. That's just my opinion.
The worst thing that go on the vacuum system is the motor.
Mhm.
That's the worst. Outside of the bags. The
Yeah.
ductwork and whatnot doesn't deteriorate or wear away, correct?
And yet, what else, when you look at it, if that was the system in 79, when did it get to a place where it wasn't functional anymore?
I've only been here less than 3 years. Hasn't been functioning properly since I've been here.
Okay. So if it's in such bad shape, why isn't something being done about it by, to the town manager's point, the Board of Ed group? You know, the budget. It would seem like if it's not working properly for our students, that we would fix it.
Well, that's his attempt here. He's saying-
No, I
But
know, but it's attempting, it's coming from us.
Right.
No, but we've adopted.
This is the way to do it.
This is the way to do it. We're doing the CNR because we want them to do the operations and the PM.
Okay, so.
It goes beyond PM. The question, the debate we're having is, does this go beyond PM to need to be a replacement through CNR? And my point, I think Jamin's point before that was, if it's filters or just little tiny fixes, then maybe that's PM. And when we're ready to say there needs to be a brand-new system, then we need to have the conversation about having a brand-new system. What I hesitate to do is to try to do PM through CNR and have it not work and then be in the same place saying, okay, now we tried. Again, that's my lipstick on a pig. We're guessing at the
result.
Again,
Guessing at the
going on
result.
the basis of the Gordon report.
Yep. Can I just see this again?
Unfortunately, the Gordon report has proven to be, in some cases, I'm looking for a good word.
Wrong?
That's a good word, wrong. To the positive side.
Mhm.
And we've appropriated funds that have been a considerable amount more than what it ends up being. We need data on these, on specific items in order to be able to do exactly what the mayor just said, look at it and see, what it's actually gonna cost to upgrade, repair, change filters.
So
whatever.
let me ask this then. Of the items that are identified here, which items do we have specific quotes on?
That's not true.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
Of these 18 items, which ones of these do we have specific that you verified are accurate, that the amount of money will actually do what?
So I gave you the memo yesterday, but there was no backup of quotes behind.
That's what I'm just asking, yeah, that's my question. So which one of these have quotes that?
Replace the failing water heater.
Okay, that's,
Number 2, we have the
check.
actual quote.
The IAQ, I'm assuming that's an actual quote too, because that's part 2.
With all due respect, again, I don't have any documentation in front of me. He did provide a list, but I don't have any documentation to that fact.
But I do. Communication system upgrade, we have a quote.
Okay.
Okay,
Security systems are estimates. HVA design is an estimate.
And when we
Classroom
say, let me just pause there, when we say an estimate, Gordian report estimate, your estimate, or like you reached out to a contractor who gave you an estimate?
Cameras are our estimate of how much we need to start spending in each schools to upgrade, and that estimate is received by the IT manager.
Okay.
And that's for the 3 schools. HVA design is an estimate that we created, talking as a group, including John Harriman, and we also, how much we should put together, and at that point, we recommended $100,000.
Okay.
Lines replacement,
We have a,
we have a quote.
Okay.
Window air conditioning units is an estimate
okay.
per Gordian report. Sawdust collecting system, Gordian report estimate.
Mhm.
Fire suppression system, Gordian report estimate.
Mhm.
Domestic water storage tank, Gordian report estimate.
Mhm.
Split system, AC unit, Gordon report estimate. Gym lighting, we have a quote. Carpeting renewal, it's a phase 1. And classroom blinds is a quote.
Okay, thank you, that's helpful.
Well, not really, Mr. Mayor, with all due respect.
No, it's helpful to know where we stand, that's
I
what,
understand, but that list came over yesterday, and again, I don't have any backup.
and we don't have any backup in hand.
And the position you took yesterday with the
That's where I was about to go. So Claudio, for the benefit of you, yesterday we went through Public Works and I had some very candid words for the Public Works Director about how if you're going to be giving us things that you want to have approved as capital non-recurring, we want to see at least one quote that helps us understand, is this in the realm of reality for them? And we made that point a number of times across the department yesterday, and I think I beat him up pretty badly on that. So we're beating you up a little nicer, but we're beating. And I'll explain it. Like
I understand your challenge.
we have the challenge that we have a really big, I know relatively big budget for us. It's a big budget, and we know that the middle school is going to be coming on board, and we know that that is going to have a immediate tax mill rate increase on the residents. And if we're going to be burdening them with an additional tax increase, we want to be able to say to a resident that comes to us, hey, James, why did the town council approve, $82,000 for carpeting, and it only ended up costing $30. Why didn't you guys get a better quote before putting my tax money aside and locking it up, when it could have been spent on something better, or it could have been more valuably used, or it could have, you're overtaxing me because you're not actually using that money. I think we have to have a good explanation for a resident as to why we made the estimate that we did and what we're relying on. And I think the Gordian report is it's like sailing by compass, right? It gives us the general direction, but there are better metrics that we can use. We can say, we can get a cartographer to help us. We can guide by star. We can get a little more pinpointed. So I love metaphors, so forgive me. That wasn't a good one. But that's the struggle that we're having, and what we're.
I understand.
Yeah, so that I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I don't think any of us are. I think we're just trying to assess how to be responsible stewards while we go through these items. And understanding that different people have different expectations too. It's hard for you because, you have one set of expectations and requirements, and, frankly, you don't work for this council, so, it's difficult because we're grilling you, and, you have other responsibilities and obligations. So I respect that and understand that. So with that said, what I think we which
Would it make sense to go through the priority ones.
Yep.
And start with that piece.
Yep, I agree.
And then move on from there or not.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. So we did the IAQ, we did the replace the water heater, we agreed to 50,000 for the upgrade of telephones. We think the CCTV renewals are necessary, although we have significant questions about the cost estimates for those. Because I don't quite understand what how those numbers were developed. We agree with the HVAC design. The town engineer had a part in that, it sounds like.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, no, we don't know if John was part of that conversation?
What school was this?
The high school?
Yes, the high school.
Was John part of the conversation in recommending 100,000 for the high school?
We were all in here, and when we had those several meetings prior to this, when we were discussing the Gordon report and the CNR. And we started with well over 2 million in CNRs, and we slowly chipped away with it and came down to these. And that conversation, we walked into a conversation and says, let's put this together and get a grant. And to do that, we need a design. And we talked about how much a design will cost. And we said 100,000, and John was here, and he said, that sounds about right. Now, you can do whatever you want at this point.
They're gonna make a decision.
Thanks, Tony.
You can say no.
Yeah, no,
You won't do it.
I'm inclined to say that if there's state money available and doing an HVAC design is something that we need to unlock the state money and a 50% reimbursement, I think it's silly not to chase that.
I would say it's
Um,
incumbent
So I can make a recommendation, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, with the caveat that he's gonna have to bring adequate, backup for each item before the BOF.
Mhm.
And I'd like to see it beforehand, but,
It won't happen.
it won't happen. So-
Other than the information I've already given you, the quotes that we have, I can provide you the quotes we have. In the next couple of weeks, there's no way I'm getting quotes for all the rest. I don't have an engineer on my staff, I don't have that kind of staff.
Can he work with John to get that stuff put together?
It's not the engineer's job.
I know.
Well, you know what, it may
We've-
work,
May not.
it may not.
So.
Their
in that
Board of
case-
Finance is gonna crucify us.
So, no,
The
the
board-
caveat that you went on the basis of what was supplied to you, you're approving these to be, submitted to the Board of Finance.
Yeah,
I would approve the ones.
And I would approve the ones and give them the 50,000.
and not the fire suppression system, leave that off, we think?
I would leave that off still.
I'm gonna look at Jamin because you have a restaurant, so do you think, restaurants, you own a lot of these, you think it's okay, they just keep being inspected, they haven't failed yet?
Right. If you have to recharge it, you recharge it. There's no-
Okay, so, the consensus of the council is to add the 50,000 to the upgrade of the telephone, but otherwise to maintain the town manager's recommendations, right?
With the caveat, with the understanding it's being made with the information that was provided and understanding it's being submitted to the Board of Finance.
Yep, well, as is everything that we do, yeah,
And that some of these are in phases as well.
yeah. I know, Tony, you're recommending the CCTV renewals as well. That makes me really uncomfortable, though, not the concept of renewing them, but the idea that we're just replacing a camera here and a camera there, and it's kind of scattershot, just makes me uncomfortable, but I'm gonna trust the process.
Going on the basis of what, he's going on the recommendation of his IT person.
Yep,
So.
yep, okay. And he'll come to the he or she will come to the Board of Finance meeting to talk about,
That's what he's.
I will ask them to attend.
yeah, okay. Okay, so that is our recommendation with those, and then we'll go back to the master list, but go ahead, Sharon, give us the number. 466,404. Okay, so now let's go through, do the same thing we just did with the town capital items. And, oh, I think we said we weren't gonna do any of the twos. Are we gonna do any of the twos? Is there, I thought we were just gonna stick with the ones. Do we want to? Are there any of the twos that are piquing your interest?
Okay, again, if we're gonna do the twos,
I, Yep, go ahead.
Did we do 12, domestic water storage tank?
Domestic is a 1, yes.
Okay, so we're.
The AC split renewal is not a 1, but the domestic water tank is a 1. It's gonna be, if you look at the table that Tony provided, it's all of the items Tony
Yeah.
provided, plus the addition of the 50 for the phone. So this number is gonna be 466, 404.
What happens if that water storage tank fails? You get a lot of hot water.
Then I'll call Tony and say, I need money to replace the hot.
But we're funding.
Replace the tank.
Okay. We're funding that.
That's
Yeah,
what
he did. I was just curious what. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so we're good with those. Now let's do the same thing that Claudia, I think we're all set then.
Thank you.
We're
Really
now gonna
appreciate your time.
mesh it together with the town
And I
ones.
can tell you, through conversation with Jason and other members of the PFC, we are gonna expand the information going forward next year. And we'll do our due diligence to get as much information ahead of time as possible. We'll start the process sooner. I can tell you, if I can, Mayor, say a few things.
Of course.
I can tell you that the challenge is, I start off with 50 projects.
Yep.
And I can't go out and get quotes every year for 50 projects. People will stop answering the phone if you just keep calling them, can you give me a quote, can you give me a quote? If I have the funding in place, I can get somebody to show up. If I'm still looking for funding, it's much more challenging. I can't go out and get quotes for 50 projects. When we started this process this year, it was well over 2 million.
Yeah.
We're down to 466,000. I would have to have gotten quotes for $2 million worth of projects, over 2 million, and then slowly chip away, and then next year I'm calling the same guys because the projects that you didn't approve this year get moved to next year. And then we need a new quote because the quote from a year ago. So that's the challenge that I'm facing.
Yeah.
That's if,
I'm just saying my piece.
Yeah.
No, it's a good piece, except that's our policy, and we have to go by the policy of the council.
I understand.
You see what he has to deal with.
At this point, what my risk becomes that if I don't have enough information, the council will turn down the projects.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, the Board of Finance will even dig even deeper, so I understand the process.
Yeah.
But
trying to get quotes, after a while, they don't wanna give you quotes.
That's true.
Well, it's people's time to come out.
Yeah, I understand that one.
And some of these quotes are pretty in-depth, and especially when somebody's asking, well, what's the model number, and how many of them? and is it
BTUs,
interior,
oh.
is it exterior, can you get a cheaper one?
Takes time.
Yeah, it does.
We'll hope to continue improving this process every year.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Claudio.
your
We
time.
appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, let's do the same thing we just did with the capital plan for the town. Are there any items on the town capital plan list that we've gone over now in,
We never did the assessors, the top one.
oh, well, isn't that just the cost, the quote of the cost for the reevaluation?
Yeah, and, so every 10 years, the reval is different than every 5 years. And this one is a bigger year, so she upped it to 350.
Does she have a quote to support that?
No, she did put an explanation in there, and I did go back, Tony had me go back over the history of the revals and what was budgeted and what was spent.
Okay, can you go through that with us briefly?
I probably not bring that, but we had one where she budgeted, because I was questioning the 350 myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because last year we budgeted, the last time we budgeted 225.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking to cut it.
Yeah, he was looking to cut it, but I went back and when she did the 10 years one, she budgeted 350 and it came in at 339.
Okay.
So the last couple of times are unfortunately in line with this.
Okay. Do we want to do the CNRs all now, or do we want to go back into the order and get the rest of the budget, like the rest of the departments done, and then do CNR last? Or do we want to keep on the CNR train? We have building, town manager, finance, general expense, employee benefits, debt service. So I'm gonna, let's go back into the order we were supposed to be in and leave CNR for the last, and then that way we can have an actual overall budget item before we make our decisions on CNR. Building inspection is page 7, for those following along online or in the room, is not page, section 7, the building department. Mr. Town Manager.
Other than wages, I don't believe there's any increase.
You gave him the 1,900 for, he's, you know how.
The kiosk.
Yeah, so last year the permitting,
Oh, the system.
Went digital.
yep, was
Yeah.
approved, so he would like a kiosk in his office, and, so that's the.
Not in his office, for the,
The public.
out in the front desk.
How well-used has the digital system been for building permits? I'm assuming people are very happy with the fact they can do it online and don't have to come into the building in person?
We're still working on it. It's, being implemented as we speak.
It's a system that they build based on departments.
So the departments all
I'm
have been.
probably not explaining it right, so I
Yeah,
apologize.
So,
They all have been meeting on this, with Amanda leading, the group.
so we funded it for this past fiscal year to get started, and it's still not operational at this point?
You know where it stands?
So currently, each department has to upload the permits individually. So they're working on that and the structure of that. I know that they're about halfway through, so that's each department. That's health department, building department, zoning. And then they also have to scan in the permits that are already existing. It's basically like building a program from scratch.
So what are we paying for? I thought the point of paying for the system was that they would be customizable and easily.
Yes, that's what they're doing. They're customizing it right now. It's a pretty long process. Each department has to go through training. They do monthly check-ins.
And can members of the public who need a health permit, building permit, is this what Scott had in his thing, saying that now people can sign up for rec services electronically?
No, that's a different.
That's completely different.
That's completely different.
So are any of the departments online for the members of the public to be able to do online? We set up like a whole fee structure
To
last year.
do online permitting?
Yes.
No, not yet. It's not open to the public yet. It's still being built. It's still being customized.
When is that supposed to be live? Because, right, if we're gonna keep funding it, is this just for the continued building? Like, is this gonna become like building the Suez Canal? It's gonna take like, or, you know, or the Panama Canal, it's gonna take 100 years?
So I know it was supposed to be live in March. It's been delayed a little bit. I'm not sure, Tony, if
Well,
it's.
it's delayed a little bit, staff, participation, unfortunately, due to their time constraints. But again, Amanda, I put Amanda on it, and she's been coordinating all the departments.
Yeah, I guess my issue is like, last year we had a whole debate about whether or not to go do the service, and it's gonna be the subscription, that's gonna cost all this money every year to maintain, and here we are, we had this whole fee structure that we developed online versus in person, and here we are a year later, and it's not up yet, and that's concerning to me, but okay.
Well, they, in all fairness to the employees, they've been working on it, and, I'll double check and let you know where they stand and how much longer.
I know it's not gonna be much longer, but it's been a much longer process than the employees originally anticipated with their time, and how much customization it actually takes, and also updating the forms themselves. A lot of the forms are older, so they're not just plugging in all the existing forms, they're also updating them. I know that Moira has been updating every single form individually, so.
Go ahead, Jim.
I am shocked. I'm not mad at the employees at all. I'm shocked that this company offers this service. And I mean, I don't know what they're creating, like, so it's hard to say, but I'm genuinely shocked. I mean, my own business, I can create forms that people can apply to and submit, including attachments for employment to everything else, and I can do it myself in 5 seconds. I don't understand how this company can charge whatever it was, $50,000-$60,000. I don't care. It's, the core technology is the same regardless if it's for a town, for a business, for a person, for my dog. It doesn't matter. I
only can go on.
I'm
This
sorry to
came-
rant.
This came to me by
Yeah.
request
I'm
by
furious.
an employee, and the bottom line is, I went on the basis of what the employees were looking for.
I'm fine with you, Tony. I'm fine with employees. I'm just shocked that this company offers this service at the price point that they offer it, and this is what we're getting? I don't know. I should just shut up.
Was it
So-
67,000?
So,
How
hold on.
about we'll hold off until the council meeting and let me find out what the exact problems are, and I'll be happy,
Hold on.
because I'll have Amanda with me.
Yeah.
And, she'll be able to articulate, and we'll give you the, rundown on where we stand and when we, what the problems have been, and, go from there.
Yeah, because
Thank you.
This was created, start date 7/1/25. It has a whole list of things that we are expected to have delivered, and I guess I see now, I'm looking at this actual thing. The end date of some of these things are pretty far away. And then it says additional services, professional services, $39,000 for additional services to help build us the system, starting on 7/1, deployment. So they're getting the amount for all of the departments to run the stuff, and then they're getting the $39,000 additional to help deploy it. And here we are a year later, $96,000 of taxpayer money has been spent, and we're not online yet. Like, that is,
Can I ask a question?
yeah, I'm shocked.
Is this company working with us? In other words, they've got people on site that are saying,
They,
this-
apparently they've been coming to the,
I mean, I
meetings.
get the emails on my calendar for all the meetings, and they have one almost once a week with the company. Like Zoom meetings, and the health director, whoever area department that they're trying to focus on, the department head is on the call with the company.
Well-
Like, if they're doing zoning, if they're doing health, if they're doing building.
it might be a good thing to find out how our people feel about it, and if they need more hands-on, for at least, if there is any way to get that, because for us to go another 6 months of floundering around like
Again,
this,
instead of debate, 'cause
I don't know.
let
I
me
don't know
get
what
the answers, and, Amanda will be here at the council meeting,
Yeah.
and we'll, give you a rundown on where we are and what the problems are.
Yeah, I am spending $90,000 in year one for a product we don't have yet. That apparently every town, because I remember last year when we were going through this the first time, the majority of neighboring municipalities use this same system. So how hard, what is so special about a dog license in Cromwell that makes it, so much more difficult to duplicate compared to any other of their, I think they said they had like over 100, right, was it like 100 towns in this, or it was a huge number of towns from last year that use this. So like, how could a building permit be like that difficult to digitize? Like, okay.
Is there any
go ahead.
breach of contract concerns that,
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, honestly, if we contracted a service to be done by X date with X deliverables along the way, it seems like this is a pretty clear breach of that contract.
I agree.
James, is it that this civic?
I'll have the answers for you at the council meeting.
Almost like the culture study.
So,
Almost.
Mr. Mayor, we're gonna table this budget?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna recommend that the council table this until Wednesday. I know we wanted to get the budget done tonight, but I'm gonna recommend tabling it. Can I have a motion to table the building department budget?
Motion approved.
Made by Jamin, second by Al. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none. All those in favor of tabling for our Wednesday meeting? Aye.
Aye. Are we gonna, can I make we're gonna have to meet early Monday, or Wednesday, because what we're talking about, putting off everything till our town council meeting.
Yeah, we should-
How are we gonna have enough time?
Can we do,
I think Amanda's was already talking about that.
I think we should do a
No,
six, For a special meeting at 6:30.
5:30 even.
What would you, 5:30?
To finish budget
As long as
items.
we start the, special town meeting at the appropriate time.
Yeah. So I think next week we should start at 5:30 with a thing that just says a special meeting, any unfinished budget items.
Right.
And just
We need time.
do it then.
All right, you're talking 5:30 on Wednesday.
Yeah, we can't, yeah. Because we're not, yeah. Anyways, okay, let's keep moving.
Got too much going.
Department 1, the town manager's office with the human resources enclosure.
Freeze it.
Mr. Town Manager.
You'll see, actually a reduction, and, the reason,
Sold.
of course, is that, I've moved the HR over to a separate department, 1A.
Mhm.
And everything else
I added some to the budget,
would add,
the $8,000.
Huh?
The $8,000 capital item, but I did supply backup. That's the new town website.
Mhm.
Cassidy might be able to explain more.
yeah, why don't you go ahead, because you've been working on that.
Yeah, so I did give you the quote, and we had a one-time charge of $8,000, so I put it in the town manager's budget as a capital item.
Okay,
Can Cassidy explain it?
go ahead, Cassidy.
Okay, so we are getting a new website. The old platform is still Civic Plus, the mother platform of that, which no longer exists. It's been bought up by another company, so they're switching software completely. But it's a total revamp update, so it's an one-time $8,000 charge for all of the new code, all of the work, all of the training hours that we have gone through. Staff has completed training. We're working on updating the new website, and the launch date is gonna be March 17th. So the new website will be live March 17th with,
That's great.
no, it's a dead set date of March 17th. We've already decided that. I had a meeting with them on Tuesday. All the staff has been actively updating their website, and also this website features, ADA accessibility that is up to the new state statute that the, Connecticut has passed recently, so.
Okay.
What does that mean? Why does it, how does it affect people with disabilities?
Does it read to you?
So it reads to you, which the old website did not do. There is more access, more accessibility for people that are colorblind. There's more accessibility for people that are partially blind, and there's also more accessibility for people that have disabilities of other kinds when they have special keyboards and such, so it applies to
So
that.
now, how is this different from the other thing that didn't get done?
This is the website itself.
This is the website.
So now we're
okay.
gonna be at .gov.
And the other thing is a new
The other is a
computer system.
permanent-
That's a permitting
Platform.
software system. This is the cromwellct.gov website, like the town website that everyone uses.
And actually, the state has passed legislation that requires this, as pointed out, and we were ahead of the game with ours.
In other words, that we have to be .gov rather than
No,
.com.
.gov, we're already .gov.
Yeah, well, now we are, but we weren't before it was
No, we were making the transition to .gov anyways. No, ADA compliant with our website is now like mandated by the state. It gives us so much time,
Office
but we'll
assistant.
be ahead of it.
Right, Cassidy, that's your title? Al was asking what your title is.
I'm impressed. I really am.
Let's move on. I wanna go home.
Okay, Paula wants to go home. Okay. Regarding item 1, or budget item number 1, any other questions from the council on the town manager's department request of $366,802? Okay, hearing none, can I have a motion to approve?
So moved?
Oh, sorry, $366,802.
Did you take money out?
We did not.
No,
HR.
Yeah, $366,802 is what he recommended.
Yeah.
Yes, so I have a motion made by that, by Jamin,
So moved.
second by Jack. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Now, 1A is our new Human Resources Department.
Okay, so what I did here is I built an HR department. And again, this is another one where E5, and the range is open only because.
We don't know what step they're gonna come in at.
That's correct, the position's open.
Okay.
So I removed those items that were in the town manager's budget and transferred them over here, which is wages and, HR-related expenses.
Future, correct?
Future.
Future.
Future what?
HR person.
Yes, the person will be hired in the future. Presently,
Yeah.
how, regarding that process, do you have like an interview committee set up for how you're gonna be interviewing candidates for that? It does, can you, I mean, I know we talked about it before, but can you share, it's yourself and is
Myself.
Sherry?
And, well, actually, I'm getting HR professionals.
Okay, great.
To sit with me and, in-house personnel.
Okay, great, thank you. Alrighty, any questions on the 149, 178? And so I'm guessing that because of the salary, right, the 144, 117 is like a shot number where you're kind of saying like, you know, it could be less, it could be more depending on where they come
Well,
in,
I did
what step.
Working with the finance director, I did pick a maximum.
Okay.
Level.
Right, he put a
Yep,
range.
and we
but
won't
if you
say that
look at
publicly.
what I budgeted
Yep,
up top, so half of the executive assistant is in here and half is in the town manager's budget.
yep,
But right now,
that's Sherry's position?
yes, I have 92,000 in there for the HR director.
Got it.
So if you're in agreement with this one, same thing needs to be done. First, you need to change the salary level and then vote on the budget.
Yeah, Brian, who's not here, will be very happy that we're fixing this, because he said that he didn't think it was high enough to recruit good quality candidates. Okay, so first, can I have a motion to set the HR director position at E5, pay plan E, level 5?
So moved.
Made by Jamin,
Do
seconded
they
by,
have a step, or is that,
what?
do we need to have it?
Just E5, because.
Because there's no steps yet, no one's in the role.
I haven't filled it, and I don't know where that's gonna land.
So we have a motion by Jamin, second by Paula. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. With regards to the final line item there, it's 149, 178. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Made by Jamin, second by Al. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Number 8 is the finance director.
Whoa.
Would you like to present your own budget?
So, I increased contracted services, every year my Munis system goes up approximately 5%.
Mm-hmm.
I am asking for an increase in my departmental, for attending a conference in the fall. I am on the GFOA board, so it looks good if I attend this conference. I don't go every year, so I don't ask for the money every year. I also, all my membership dues have increased to go to the meetings that I attend, and my membership increased for the association. And I've also, this year I implemented, training for my employees. Two of the girls right now are doing some trainings to further their education, and, I'm not sure that I had the full conversation with the town manager, but I did a call the other day with Fairfield University and CCM. I'm on a panel to create a finance class for, government officials and staff members and finance officers, and they actually asked me to be an instructor. I'm not sure I'm gonna commit to that, at this point. I applied to the Leadership Academy for the GFOA, but I also applied for a grant, so I did not put that in my budget.
Where's your conference?
It's just in Providence.
So as outlined by the finance director, which I support, I've been encouraging our directors to, more training for all their staff. That's everyone, including, the field forces in public works. And, this department is definitely taking advantage of it, and I encourage it. I encourage our staff to take positions in, associations, because of the exposure, the networking experience, and it's a benefit to, ultimately to the town. And Sharon's doing an outstanding job. She's been serving in a leadership role in GFOA, right?
Yeah, for about 2 years.
2 years now, and now she did come to me with this Fairfield University proposal, and I think it's outstanding. They're looking to her to write a program.
Great. All good things. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Any questions on this budget from anybody? I'll start with my right. On the bank account fees, I see there's like a $3,000. Is that
Yeah.
because of the bonding or something?
No, so, that account we use, like, if we have to buy checks, if we, and I don't know, I haven't probably stated to the board, Webster Bank got bought out. That is our primary banking services. So when that happens, we have to buy all new checks, all new deposit forms, all new, sometimes they come in and they give you an allotment. I use this to buy purchase orders, check disbursement forms for, that doesn't come out of central services, it comes out of my budget, but everyone in the town uses it. Yeah, so that's what I use this for, and every year we buy the purchase orders in June, and we try to stretch it like a year and a half, so we're not doing it every year. I also buy all the budget books and the supplies, the tabs and the yellow tabs and everything out of my office budget also.
Thank you. Ann, any questions? No. Jack, any questions?
No.
Al, any questions? Paula, any questions?
Who bought Webster Bank?
Santander.
Okay. Okay, so I have some questions. Okay, question number one. On the department expenses, you're looking for an increase. What are your current year-to-date department expenses? And I'm gonna ask the same question for contracted services, because you're looking for an increase there as well.
Yeah, because Venus goes up every year.
Yep, so that's the 5%, that's what that is representing? Okay.
And I reached out to Munis and they, typically I can get a quote and I didn't.
Mhm.
So I based it on history for the past 3 years.
And then while you're pulling that up, maybe this is a Tony question, maybe it's your question. So we're hiring a new assistant finance director. Why is the range step 5 and 6? Shouldn't, I mean, I don't know, but doesn't somebody normally start lower on the step scale than?
Non-bargaining, and I don't think I'm gonna get somebody at like step 1.
So that's a bargaining unit position or a non-bargaining?
It's a non-bargaining.
Okay.
Exempt.
Shouldn't we have a range there instead of saying like for sure whoever's gonna get hired is gonna get hired at the like at, is that what the vacancy, is that what the person who left was
No,
making?
the person who left was at top step.
Okay, so this is a couple lower than that, top step's 8?
Yes, top step is 8.
I mean, not for nothing, but I think if you're gonna be hiring somebody new, they start a little lower and then they have room to grow. That's just my perspective on it.
Yeah, except you can't attract.
And actually, if you go on the site, there is an extreme amount of finance positions
So
for
we're trying-
governments right now, not just directors, not
Yeah.
assistants, but payroll, accounting clerks, everything.
So we're trying to attract amongst.
I know, it just, you starting somebody so high up the step scale, it kinda, I don't know. And normally when somebody comes in, they come in at a lower step and then they have room to grow. I'd rather, but I understand, it's fine, we can leave
I
it.
remember when everybody started at step 1. That makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Let's, okay, what was your department expenses?
So for contracted services, I'm at 25,
Okay,
and departmental expenses, I'm at 3,500. And I usually buy the budget books and everything in June.
yeah, okay. And last year you were at 5,450?
Yeah.
Or 5? I hate to do this, but I would want to cut that down to back to where it was, to the 6,500. I think we're rather than creeping it up, I think it's been good historically there. I think we should keep it historically there.
I'm gonna agree to disagree, but that's okay. I mean, I have a 5-person office, and I get 6,500, and the assessor has a 3-person office, and
We
she
can,
gets 7.
we can cut the assessor's office down too, so they match. Are you sure? We're happy to cut. We're happy to make it equal. I mean, listen, and I'm not trying to nickel a dime again, but I just want us to be as austere as possible with while being responsible, right? And, no, actually, while we're here, what was the assessor's department expenses used for up to year to date? I mean, you opened, I mean, you,
Boy, oh boy, you're gonna be in trouble.
I know, I'm
Oh, boy,
I
can of
shouldn't go
worms.
to work
gonna open up a can of worms on this?
No, but here's the thing, right?
She's at 3,400.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, and I'm not trying to give anybody a hard time, but these department expenses, I know they're little tiny things, but if they creep up and they keep creeping up and they keep creeping up and they're not being used, then they're just like little pockets of extra money that are hidden in different places. I would rather have a budget that is appropriate to what is actually being used with a little wiggle room versus a budget that has, lots of wiggle room just because we want to park money places. Like, I don't think that's responsible. And I know it's a $500 here, $500 there, but
One, if I may.
yeah.
That is, I know I hear this in another commission, and my response to that is that I expect our directors to spend what they need, and if they don't spend it, that's where it goes back to the general fund, and then it ends up funding our capital non-reoccurring projects, which we do not tax for.
Yeah, I understand.
So the taxpayers, yes, are being taxed for this, but ultimately the tax dollars are being used for appropriate items.
Okay, well, we can just leave it. I mean, I would like to keep this one steady at 6,500, but if nobody else supports that, I'm not gonna make us go through the motions of that. I try to not lead the motion, so if nobody else is entertaining that, then that's fine, it can creep up a little bit.
I mean, there is inflation. I mean,
Yeah, that's fine, Okay, so, do I have a motion to approve 499, 163?
So moved.
Made by Jamin. Second by Jack. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries unanimously. Let's do employee benefits debt service, and then we can tackle CNR.
That's what I was gonna
Yep.
suggest.
Well-
Thank you.
Are we tackling CNR? Yeah, we are, okay.
Yeah, because we have
Um,
to do that to Gerald.
45 is employee benefits. So, Tony, employee benefits, I hear there's some changes on the horizon with with medical insurance.
I don't, with all due respect, Mr. Mayor, I don't know who your sources are,
I don't know.
but there are possibly changes on the horizon. We've been meeting, with the unions, in an unofficial capacity, because, ultimately, the decision rests with the town.
Yep.
As I feel that the 40% is unrealistic, and we're looking at other alternatives, and one of them is the state plan.
Yep. So for those of you who aren't as well versed in all of this, can you explain what the crisis is with healthcare, and what the state plan is, and what it looks like that will help or not help right now?
So, excuse me, sir?
Oh, I said, for those of us who aren't, I'm versed on it, but I don't know if, can you explain the health insurance crisis that's happening across the state? And why the state plan is being considered as opposed to our private plan?
Well, actually, I'm considering it for a couple of reasons.
Yep.
One, the prices, percentage-wise, over what we're spending today is coming in the area of actually between 40 and 50% more.
So the current plan that we have?
Current plan.
Correct.
Which is an HSA. And looking at the state plan, which is about 18 to 20%, we budgeted in this budget 20%. And that's a PPO plan.
Mm-hmm.
So the decision actually has to be made. I have to make a decision by the end of this month, I think, if I remember correctly, because I want to be in tune with Medicare.
Mhm.
Though if any of our employees are on Medicare,
Mhm.
they're going to want to be able to. So I'm trying to wrap this up as quickly as possible.
Mhm.
But I think it's outrageous that we're paying health care in this country, and it's a 50%. This is the largest in my 11th budget that,
The renewal rates are this high.
I mean, we started out a couple of times where it was like 25%. We got them down into single digits. most of the times, and I just can't believe that they're looking for a 40% increase.
Yeah, it looks like it's doubled. Is that a reasonable assessment? Okay.
We did go out to bid. We ran into the same thing the Board of Ed ran into. One insurance company wouldn't even bid the town. Another one did bid the town, and they came in right along where our current insurer is with the same high percentage.
And so let me just kind of zoom out so this is a problem across the entire state. Healthcare renewal rates are in the double digits pretty much everywhere. And the state partnership plan is a state-run plan, and the idea behind it is the state doesn't necessarily subsidize it, but they run it, and it's not for profit. And the idea is they want to try to get more municipalities in order to buy in order to have more healthy bodies offset the less healthy bodies. And the state comptroller's office runs it. They are very eager to get people to be in it. And, you know, personally, you haven't heard this rant, but Enza has heard this rant from me. I have lots of misgivings about the state partnership plan, because what tends to happen is the state partnership plan yo-yos. So you have a rush of people who go in right now during a tight time, and state partnership plan looks great. Then when private rates then swing back the other way with the marketplace, they offer, what they'll do is these health insurance plans realize they're losing everybody, and they'll offer a year or two of really great rates, and you can't believe it's not butter. And then everyone runs out of the state partnership plan to go and grab those. And normally people are on contract cycles, so like it's every 3 years or every 2 years, and if you fall on the wrong end of that cycle, what happens then is you're stuck with the state partnership plan, and it jacks up, and then the cycle starts again. So that is my big misgiving with the state partnership plan, is it's part of a pendulum swing. It looks really good when it's bad outside, and it's really bad when it's good outside. And so without in my opinion, without the state further actually subsidizing it instead of having being member subsidized, you're going to keep having those swings, because you're competing with the private sector, and the private sector can take a year or two loss. Do the Amazon model, have a couple years where you don't make money in order to make money in the long run. So they're better able to take a hit to make a long-term gain. So state partnership plan is great when it is great, and it's not great when it's not great. So I understand that, because in order to weather the storm, the only way to do that is to go into a plan that is a larger pool. But, you know, I anticipate whoever's sitting at this table in 2 or 3 years will be having the opposite conversation about leaving the state partnership plan potentially, depending on, you know, if there's a country and if there's health insurance and if all those things still exist, which hopefully it all does.
So I just like to say, I agree with you 100%. I'm very leery of the state partnership plan.
Me too.
Mostly for the same reasons that you are, with the exception, and I think we'll probably both agree on this, the 20% difference.
I know.
mean,
Yeah, no, you have to do it. You have to do it, but this is how they suck you in. And
Yeah, so the reason I've been holding off is through our liaison with healthcare.
Yep.
I've been hoping that somebody would blink and come down to something that is more reasonable, but we're not seeing any indications on that. So
we have to do it.
I haven't made a definite decision yet, but it appears that that's probably the way we're going to end up going.
Yep, I agree.
And I agree with the mayor. I hate to do it because I've seen it happen. Because we pitted insurance companies against insurance companies 8, 9 years ago, and we got them to come down, and we jumped in with them, and then they went up, and we jumped over to this company. Well, we didn't see that this time.
Yep. And it's right now, with the way the market is, the private companies aren't willing to bet on it, because it's just not, they don't see the pendulum swinging back short term, because their costs are going up and the claims are more expensive and the medical treatment's more expensive, and
And that's the reason. We, unfortunately, us and BOE, our claims and medical is very expensive today, and very good in this country, but it's expensive.
yeah. Okay. Any other questions on this budget from anyone? Go ahead, Jim.
Any ideas? No, I'm just kidding.
What is education enhancement?
That's where we encourage our employees to to further their education and higher education degrees. We have a few that do take advantage of it, and it's in most of our, if not all of our collective bargaining
Right,
agreements.
and the reason it's at 15 is because the police contract changed from $10,000 to $15,000 that they can get maxed out in a year.
So we're doing worst case scenario, yeah.
Yeah, and they do have 2 officers in school right now.
Yeah, so a lot of municipalities and a lot of public sector contracts have incentives for people to get better educated so that they can stay in you get either a pay bump at the end, like a stipend increase, or you get your tuition reimbursed. So it's to try to get them to get better educated so they can use those skills for the town's benefit.
Yeah, that's great. I just was curious what that was, if that's what you had talked about before, and this is where it shows up. Now I know. And what is wage adjustment?
So if you saw some of the unions are up, and we didn't increase their wages. So I budget for that in here. When we settle the contracts, I do a transfer from here into the departments to cover the increase for their wages. Yeah, so none of the wages in the dispatch and the public works changed because their contracts are up. So I budget in here to cover that
Yeah,
difference.
right now I'm negotiating with Public Works and the police civilians.
Okay, thank you. I did not know.
Do you know something?
No, I don't know anything. I was gonna talk about the way that
I thought
operates. I had two quick. Oh, Jamin, were you done? Jamin, were you done?
I'm all set, thank
okay,
you.
I had two quick questions. What do we offer for post-retirement benefits to employees? I see that the 30.
That's the people that are getting the town's medical that you approved, like the 10,000, and in the contracts, if you retire, you get the 6,000.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. So that's where that is.
That's where this is.
So and then the other post-employment benefits fund, the 88. That's what are those?
The 93, that's OPEB.
Oh, okay.
And that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I fund that by the actuary, I do that and the pension from the actuary's numbers.
Okay, sounds good. Any questions on this budget? I don't really think there's anywhere to cut on this budget. Do we offer to any of our employees by any chance healthcare incentives to not be on the town plan?
We do.
Does anyone take advantage of that?
They do.
Okay, that's great. Anything to get them off. That's great. If they take it, that's great. I always sell it to towns as like a, hey, win-win. Because, yeah, anyways, okay, so, do I have a motion to approve $5,530,145?
So moved.
Made by Jamin, second by Jack. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Debt service. We have to approve this, so,
You know what that is?
So, and you can see that I added the new school.
yep.
It's like paying our bills.
So, I don't really think there's any flexibility here, right? We can't, I mean, that's always just a question I always have. What happens if the voters vote no on the debt
Voters
service?
already technically have-
Voted yes.
The voters already approved the projects, we would pay
Okay.
it.
Okay. Has the issue that we had with DAS reimbursing been resolved?
We're working on it.
Okay, what's the status of that?
I'm still waiting on $12 million.
Okay, I know that I saw the request that was made in February. Has that been followed up on yet?
Yes. Christie's email confused me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, her email was confusing, but yes, I've been in touch with Rosanna and the project manager, and they had a change of hands again at that department. in the
Okay.
state Again, and then
What was the last request made?
in February, and we were told we should, and I think Matt Blanchett announced it at the Board of Finance meeting, that in the next few weeks, we should be getting the full $12 million.
Okay.
It's been a year since I've gotten a payment.
So how frequently should we be asking for those payments?
Now we want everything.
Yeah, I know we want everything, but like,
So the central office, we were only allowed to do 2 requests.
okay,
Per that, I can give you the requests that have been turned in.
yeah, can we have that?
I have a schedule from the project manager.
Yeah,
of
because,
when they sent it in, what they sent in.
yeah, there was a confusion that it appeared that there was only one request made per year, so that's not accurate.
No, that is not accurate.
Okay.
That's what, I guess that's what confused me.
And I think that was the information that DAS gave to the state representative, so.
That's correct.
So I just want to clarify that for the record, that we didn't wait a year to ask for our reimbursement.
No, they've been doing it on a regular schedule.
We just haven't gotten the money.
This is on DAS, in my opinion.
Okay, let's just make sure we button that up so we can get our $12 million. Where will that money go once we get it?
It goes into this middle school fund,
Okay,
and then when we close, of course, you do realize they hold so much back
yeah,
until our final audit, and then when that fund gets closed, it closes out, and then, I mean, I forget what we were on the hook for, 20,
we'll use that to pay down what we're on the hook for. Got it. Cool. Okay, any other questions on this budget?
While that money's been held by the state, is there like interest accruing somewhere that we have to worry about? Okay,
Yeah, probably for the state.
yeah.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve $3,641,063? Jack and Paula, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ann, did you say something and I missed it? Did you, okay. Okay, so now that we have gone through everything, last but not least is our CNR requests. We decided in our previous discussion to add back the 50 to the Whiz for the telephone. Now we need to go through the capital plan for the town, and then we need to vote on those two numbers. So, starting with the capital plan, why don't we do this? Why don't I do what we did before and go through each of them, and if there's consensus on keeping the town manager's recommendation, we say we don't do anything. If there's a change, somebody makes a motion to make a change. So reevaluation 350, 10-year reeval, we talked about that earlier this evening. Keep it as is, consensus, okay? Pavement management system, $33,000 for the 5-year update, keep it as is. No interest in keeping the town manager's recommendation to delay the SUV for the public works director, we're good with that. Yes, good, okay. Phase 2 environmental analysis for James Martin. 75K, or not 75K, 7,500. Are we?
That's the backside of Pearson Park.
Yeah, the backside of Pearson Park, we're good with keeping the town manager's recommendation there. River Road, same thing, good with keeping the recommendation. High school parking lot expansion engineering, we're good with keeping that? I think we have to, okay. Cedar Drive and Coles Road has its wetlands approval already. Are we good with keeping the actual improvement costs in there?
We getting grants for that?
We have applied. That was one of them we submitted again this year to the state, but I don't think it's likely.
For Cedar Drive?
Cedar Drive, we're gonna take
So this is a portion that the town's gonna be on the hook for, and the rest we're gonna use we're gonna use the LoSiP money to supplement.
Yeah, the LoSiP fund.
Oh, so we don't have to apply for grants then?
No, not for this one. Next is the Nooks Hill Road.
This is money that's been allocated to the town already, that's being held by the state that we have to spend.
Thank you.
Next is the Nooks Hill Road Fire District Pump House, 100,000 being recommended.
I had some more questions to follow up if.
Go ahead, yep.
If I may
Mr.
be
DeProto.
indulged. All right, thank you.
Okay, this is the pump house
And-
and the former water district yard.
Right.
Two buildings.
First question maybe is an easy one. I'm not sure. Are any of these historic buildings?
No.
All right.
There we go.
Has any survey been done on any hazardous
Yes.
materials presence? Like, are there oil tanks?
That's part of this.
Okay. And is there, like, how did you arrive at this number? Is this just sort of
How did I arrive
at 100,000 to?
John
Has
Harriman.
a memo in here.
Oh,
It's in
okay.
your budget.
I might have missed that.
Yeah, he has a memo in here, and
Behind the actual page?
Yeah, he had a printout, it was like a letter.
Oh.
Green, and he had handwritten in it, one, and then the first one he didn't want to do.
Oh,
I don't remember where it was in the bio. Was it under in the engineering section?
Yes.
oh, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, so if this is approved and the project goes through, what's there? Is it just remediated land?
What's what's there.
Yeah, like, what will we be left with? Does this include, like, carting off everything, remediating if there needs to be anything remediated?
The structure will be taken, everything that's there, with the ground will be level.
Okay. And if we don't do it, what happens?
If we don't do,
If we don't do this, is there some penalty that we have to pay, or is there? Yeah, I mean, can we
Well-
break out our inner real estate agents, just be like, it's fine, that's the architecture, it's rustic, you know?
no.
No, okay.
This is blighted, we're ignoring it. The residents that live in the Nooks Hill Road, some of our more larger homes are down the end, if you ever been to the end of.
Sure.
Okay, so there's some homes that are quite unique down there, that people have to drive by this, that are not happy looking at it. I've made every attempt from, renting it, to leasing it, to, selling it, and, the last approval that I received from the council was the possibility of cutting up a non-conforming lot and selling it. And it turns out, when we ended up doing the, land survey, that, the state property line is 1.5 feet off the building.
Call that.
It's leased to the railroad, but it's the state of Connecticut that owns it.
So how much was the survey? I'm sorry, I didn't see that sheet in here, wherever it is.
I'll get it for you, Jim.
Which seat?
Sheet, the sheet that John or whoever did the quote, how much was it just to do the environmental?
I don't know if he broke it down. Did he?
There's a picture of it. I don't know where.
Has there been environmental test already?
No.
Engineering,
Yeah, you gotta,
I got tabs.
okay, if you go to the back of the book, it's in capital. And, he does have it broken down, 66,000 to do the garage, to demolish it. He does have it, do you have it?
I have it on James's phone, but.
Okay, if you go into CNR and you,
Can we get page numbers on this next year?
That's,
Well, what I did for Tony
Because-
and I is,
Yeah. Can I make a suggestion about how to do page numbers on this? If you have this, do you have this in like one big PDF?
no, this is all pieced together.
Okay, because
send all these to me and I save them by department.
something you could do is when you print your first master copy. No, this, when you print your master copy before you start making your additional copies for it, I assume you start with one master copy and copy that?
Print numbers.
Scan it, scan it into, you have Adobe?
Do.
Add bait stamp numbers. So you go to insert, add bait stamp 0001, and then it'll bait stamp all the pages.
I'm not sure by Adobe, I don't have.
You just need if you have the advanced, do you have the advanced Adobe? I'll show you how to bait stamp them.
I do it for P and Z.
Okay.
What happened, I guess we'll have to have 12A, 12B, because once we build it, we still add occasionally.
That's fine. We can figure out ways to add Bs and As,
We
but
have to do A, B, C, D.
if we could bait stamp it, that'd be
But
incredible.
anyway, did you find it?
well, I see, sorry.
Still on my phone.
I see on 55 Nooks Hill Road, there's a proposal for the inspection for asbestos and lead for $1,725.
No, 2,420.
That's for the, yeah, so that's,
Where are you? Oh,
for the pump-
55, pump
yeah,
station,
the
yeah,
pump house is
Yeah.
1725, the other one's 2425.
yeah.
I'd rather do that first before we commit to spending the rest of this, because we don't know what's there.
Huh?
I'd rather
They're
do,
separate, they're feed,
I know they're separate buildings, what I'm saying is I'd rather do the survey to see if there's any hazardous or environmental issues before we commit to doing $100,000 for the whole job, because we don't know what's there yet, so it may be more than that, it may,
If you look at the memo, what he's saying is, before allocating the full 22 and the full 66, to go ahead for now with the 1,725 and the 2,425 and see what the pre-demolition lead and asbestos surveys come back with before allocating the entire amount to tear the buildings down. So he's saying just for now,
That you're talking under $4,000.
to do the asbestos and the lead study, bring that back to us. Once we have that information, that will then inform what the actual demolition costs will be. I think that's what
Really?
Jamin is, that's what I think, I think that's what you're saying.
I would not suggest doing that. I would suggest it's time that these buildings come down.
I understand
We've
that.
been dealing with this for over 10 years now, and they've been there ever since the Board of Selectmen, God only knows what, maybe you remember, why they accepted this from the fire district is beyond me, but they accepted this at no charge, this entire piece of property, and we ended up with this responsibility. So my recommendation is to go with the in-town engineer's recommendation and take the buildings down. And,
Well, I don't think we're saying don't demolish it, I think we're just,
there's no sense not expediting it, but if you don't want, if you wanna only approve 4,000 or whatever exactly it comes out to, I mean, you're talking under $100,000 left.
Depending on what's there, the
Well,
cost
we're
of
not
the.
gonna go forward then.
so why allocate it all until we're sure if we're gonna go
Because
forward?
I'm pretty positive, based on what John's, got his estimates, that he's in the ballpark. I mean, we took down 3 buildings, over the other side of town. I'm sure he's in the ballpark.
Okay. I have no doubt about John's talent. I'm just saying, we don't know what's there. So that'll change the cost of this. So we may be giving you too much money and overtaxing our residents for no reason.
We're not overtaxing our residents again. Once again, this is capital non-reoccurring.
Well, the residual and the general funds are usually used anyways. We
My
won't get into,
recommendation is it's time to take the buildings down. We've been looking at them long enough. And I think for what is being proposed by the town engineer, to hold off any longer, every single option has been explored.
Has the contamination, if there is any, has it been checked for contamination?
that's what this would-
I know that,
Yeah.
that's what,
not yet, no.
because if you don't,
You're talking basically the structures. And I believe.
There could be an oil tank buried there too. We don't know.
or they poured oil from the oil changes out in the sand.
Whatever the council wishes.
I would go along with Jamie, there was have environmental tests done before we proceed.
I agree. I think,
Otherwise-
I think we have to understand what's there before we commit all the money to do the demolition. We
Otherwise-
can always come back and do the demolition.
Otherwise, the DEP will come down and find out, and then we can get fined.
Yeah, I agree with Jamin. I think
Just
for,
understand, we can't get brownfield grants for anything that the municipality has contaminated. Now, whether or not they consider the fire district part of the town of Cromwell, which is yet to be debated, will be funding this anyways.
yeah, so it's immaterial because otherwise we'd be allocating the money to tear it down. So I don't think we're against tearing it down. I think what we're saying is let's do the asbestos and lead testing, get the environmental testing done, come back to us and says, okay, yeah, it's good to tear down, and then John can get a more specific quote for what it's actually gonna cost to tear down based off of what they find inside.
That's fine.
Okay. So can I have a motion to amend the town manager's recommendation?
Second.
Hold on, okay.
Second.
Jack, let me just make the motion.
Second.
All right, so to amend it to what Jamin recommended, which is the 1,725 and the 2,425, so whatever that is total.
4,150.
So we're gonna move that item from 100,000 to 4,150.
Motion, second.
Okay, made by Jack, seconded by Al. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstention, motion carries unanimously, so that's been reduced. Road improvements, 300,000 is what's being recommended. We're good with leaving that as it is? Okay. Payloader was not recommended. We're good with not doing the payloader? We're, mini excavator, 155. We had a lot of debate on this. Do we want to keep this item in? Yes, 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 okay. The 35, 4,500 series, the cab truck,
That was a question to be, it's not four-wheel drive. It's a two.
It is four-wheel drive.
Back
It would have been
the documentation.
73,000 without four-wheel drive. The extra 7,000 is to make it four-wheel drive.
Okay.
So we're keeping it at the 4 at the 80.
Good, thank you.
We're good with keeping that? Yep. We're good with the town manager's explanation for not doing the lighting through this, but doing it through natural attrition? Good. Double door for the library, 16,425. What are we thinking about this one, guys?
Can we hold off?
Okay, Al's thinking about holding off. This is the thing that sticks, and sometimes it opens, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We tried to repair it last year, it didn't work.
You know, why are we holding it just because it's 16,000 or what is?
Okay, if I may, this one needs to be replaced.
Yeah, all right, okay.
Just for safety reasons
Yeah, we're talking about
Yeah,
the
fire
double-
escape.
Double exterior, right? That
Yeah.
particular, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we're good with leaving it?
I think it could be a hazard.
Okay, refurbishing the Mason dump truck, we're good with keeping that in?
If I may just ask?
Of course.
Town manager, could you ask Lou, I know this, dump truck refurbishing it includes a new body, dump body on it, correct?
Correct.
Could you have them look into getting that, because a lot of people are doing this now, sandblast it, well patch it, and be done with it, and buy us a lot of time.
I think they're leaning towards stainless.
Doing what?
Stainless.
Yeah, he said Stainless something steel.
Yeah, which is gonna cost quite a bit of money. But I know, like, claimed he did do the frame on it, was sandblasted.
No, we did the body too. We patched the body also 3-4 years ago.
Due to the salt being on there, it's eating it up again, huh? Like I was,
Yes, sir.
okay.
So we're good with keeping that as is? Senior vehicle, this is the one that's 80% reimbursable, we're good with that? And maybe that 80% reimbursable will be the 100,000 to demolish the building down the road, you know?
You can.
There you go.
Just get an attachment.
There you go.
Just get it cost.
No, what I'm saying is that if we get 80% of this reimbursed, then there's the 100 that we were missing from elsewhere. We are gonna, so the demolition money's in there, just parked somewhere else.
Just have to find
We just have to find it afterwards. Okay, we're good with not doing the tractor bucket loader and the aerator?
I'll find the money for you.
Thanks. Okay. And then the fence repairs, we're gonna move ahead with? And we're okay with not doing a police vehicle?
Yep.
Okay. Sharon, what is the new total for the,
You're gonna have to give me a minute, sorry.
yeah? Cassidy, aren't you happy that you're filling in tonight?
Good job.
You're really keeping that happiness in though.
Yeah, she is making money. 3-hour minimum, we passed it.
Overtime.
What's that, when it's after 3 hours, do you get an extra hour? Is it rounded to the,
Past the 3 hours.
oh, that's it. Okay. No, but is it rounded to the full next hour?
Yes.
Okay, so we gotta stay till 9 then, is what you're saying? I'm just kidding.
Sorry,
Madam Finance Director, go ahead.
Make sure my spreadsheet was correct.
Go ahead.
It's $1,490,245.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 1,492,45.
Yeah, and then let me plug that in to add it with the Board of Ed.
So I wanted us to vote on them separately, right? Or do we vote on them all as one?
Well, this number transfers to number 16.
Okay, so we'll vote on it all at once.
Yeah, this number transfers to 16, and the total of the Board of Ed and the town is,
And this is with the 50 added to the Board of Ed?
yes,
Okay, go ahead.
1,956,649.
Right under.
That's good.
956.
Right under.
Is that good, Jane?
Oh, well, something.
Under it.
No, 649.
1956. What's it on?
56649.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve that number for the capital non-reoccurring expenses?
So moved.
Made by Jamin,
Second.
second by Jack. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstention, motion carries. And then
Figure again on that, James.
1 million, Jack,
Yeah. There you go.
1,956,956.
1,000,000.
649.
Okay, are there any, Madam Finance Director, are there any other categories other than the one that, building inspection, which we're gonna do on Wednesday?
Do you want to go to tab 16, general expense? There's other expenditures in there, and
Yes.
there's actually a request.
Yes, so let's go to, of course there's a request. Let's go to 16.
16?
Yep.
16.
General expense. What's the request?
To change the sidewalk from 25,000 to 100,000.
What?
There goes your 100.
Why?
John Harriman put a little memo in here.
That have something to do with complete streets or something?
I thought we already funded that completely.
We got grant money for that, too.
And that was
No,
for
no,
a
no,
specific,
this,
this is for repairs.
this is for repairs.
So, well, I'm seeing sidewalk here, and it does say town manager recommended 100,000.
Right, and if you, so I did put on there that John Harriman told me that the sidewalk study is on the town's website. And if you read his memo, it's saying that they identified close to 1 million in deficiencies.
So we wanna start
We wanted to start
chipping away at that.
at the sidewalk fund.
We got sidewalks to go nowhere.
So this is to, I read the report. This is to replace the whatever the ramps. Sorry.
The ADA.
Go home, go home. One more time.
Let me find some hand
Go home.
sanitizer.
Somebody
take over.
So we're talking about the 100,000, right?
Yep.
And he wants 100,000 in order to do continued updates. That's how I.
Any deficiencies, i.e. where there are not ADA ramps, install ADA ramps, where there are no, for the blind, the ADA, warning tracks,
Oh, really?
we're required to put those in, so put those in.
Okay. That's not in
And the
here.
100,000 is in the budget,
No, it's not in there.
so it's not that you have to add it, it's built into this budget.
Mhm.
It would mean if you don't wanna do it, you cut out another
Oh,
100,000.
cut out 100,000. I
That's
see.
subcontracted, correct?
Yes.
Okay. But when we've counted all this up, we've already got that 100,000.
That's in here, yes.
That's baked in, but we could reduce it if we wanted to.
Or reduce it, yeah.
Historically, we've done 25.
And it's really, you're really not even chipping away at that
Yeah.
rate.
He spent that every single year.
Yeah, of course, because the existing sidewalks needed repairs.
Is most of this for, like, the ramps and things like that, those improvements, or is it?
A lot of
Yes.
ramps, but a lot of, where sidewalks are uneven, we either replace the sidewalks completely, or we have them ground down.
There's no state programs to help defray the costs.
Heck, the state doesn't even maintain the sidewalks on state
372,
roads.
yeah, I
It's
know.
all
On Main
on us.
That's what they
Yeah,
should.
that's what they should be doing.
By Anadora and Drive, south, they don't even do that.
I think there are some sidewalks in town
So I think
that
we
I've
have
been
to do it.
walking around ever since I was here.
And these are required, like,
So,
Well, first of all, if you have trip hazards,
lawsuits,
we've
yeah.
identified them, we don't clear them, we're liable for them.
So if everyone wants to go to the, not right now, but the engineering page on the town website, you'll be able to read the full sidewalk report that's there. So let me just really quickly bring it up because I think it's important that we discuss it before committing this amount of money. We're almost there, Paula. We're almost there. We're doing the governance of state. It's important. If you go under projects, if we go under, there are no alternates on the council. It's just us.
God, I wish there were.
You're still a newbie, huh?
I would have gone home tomorrow. Sit the alternate, I'm going home.
Okay, it's not there anymore. Sidewalk. I don't see it there.
Oh, maybe because the move to the dock out, they didn't copy it over.
Let me find out.
Well, it's already in the budget.
No, I know. Oh, here it is. It's called Pedestrian Facilities Management Plan. That's why I didn't see it. Okay, so the Cromwell Pedestrian Facilities Management Plan dated January 2025 identifies, all the regulations that are efficient, what has all the sidewalks in the town labeled. And it has specifics with specific issues that are identified at different locations. And then it has prioritizations as far as which ones need to be done. So with regards to the 100,000, does he know which ones of these that he wants to do? There's a list that's like 8 pages long of all the different ones.
Prioritize?
Like, has this been prioritized? Like, if we do 100,000 this year, does that get all the ones done, or does that just get like 5 of the ones done?
The contractor's coming in, it's gonna cost you a fortune.
Well, that's why I'm asking, because, right, the sidewalk study is really extensive. It goes through every single sidewalk, and it rates each sidewalk area from 1 to 5, and then in the right-hand column, it has the cost of repairs. It's $648 per ramp replacement. It is $18 per square foot for sidewalk construction costs, and it is $2.50 for sidewalk removal costs. And then there are individual quotes for sidewalk repairs. So, I'm looking at, I'm just saying per foot, so it tells you by foot how much it should cost. So it's saying here that the grand total of all of those items, the repair, the replacement, and the removal, is $499,940.74. So 100,000 would be a fifth of that. So it would get us on the first fifth. So are we comfortable committing, based off of the study, the first fifth of it this year and then staggering it out over the next couple of years? That's the question that I'm asking.
Well, as Tony said, you're liable if you have trip hazards.
Correct. No, yep.
And I think people in this town do like the sidewalks.
Yep.
Even,
And ask for more sidewalks.
Correct.
and this is the cost of them.
Correct.
So I'm personally pretty comfortable with this.
Okay.
I don't like it, but it is what it is.
Okay, so do I have a motion for the $2,112,499?
How much,
You gotta
if I
change
may?
that because we changed the CNR, so let me put the 100 in.
The 100 was already in.
No, I was putting it in your town council, I left that open until you guys were decided.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So yeah, since you reduced the CNR, your total is 2,066,649.
Why are we going to that? Rather than just.
Oh, because,
Can you repeat the number?
2,066,649.
Mm-hmm.
649.
Oh.
We changed the pump house.
Okay.
And we added the whiz, and well, look at that, guys. We went down from last year. Last year we spent 2.2 million. This year we're spending 2.06 million. So there we go. We went down.
Sharon, how much is in the balance?
Aren't we good?
How much is in the balance right now for the sidewalk fund? Really?
He spends
He's
it all
been
every
doing,
year.
he's been doing a good job about using the money every year.
The way it looks to me is that everything is
They did all wool over.
even when you look at this.
Yeah, they, and
Number 16. So if you look at number 16, the CNR number is in there. Yes, the CNR transfers in their capacity.
Where is it under his? I don't see anything.
It's
Projects and information.
links.
It's been a,
Pedestrian.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jamin. Go ahead.
where did the asset committee show up in this? Is that,
Oh, for this.
They don't have a budget right now.
they don't have a budget? Are we supposed to have one?
Does the Public Facilities and Asset Committee need a budget, Sharon? Or is that operating under town council? Because it's a commission of the council.
Well, nobody asked for money.
Nobody asked for money. Okay.
was just gonna say, I mean, do they need,
I don't know. I mean, do they want a secretary, or do they need a secretary, or do they want to keep self-reporting?
What's this for, James?
The,
Know what they're doing.
Well, if
So-
you're gonna give them a secretary and they meet, monthly, you better figure at a minimum of around $1,200.
so we could do that, or do we want to wait until Wednesday when we settle up the other department and get a better idea from them when we settle up the other department?
We can wait till Wednesday.
Let's wait till
I think to
Wednesday so we can
settle
saddle
up,
up.
we can do-
Yeah. Jamin, other questions?
Just wondering, this time around, it's been a pleasure, of course. I really appreciate the people in the public coming. Just wondering, it seems like the budget really gets packed with overtime. Is there any way we can cut down on that for next time around? Is there-
Overtime?
Yeah, overtime.
Overtime in the budget?
Yeah.
No.
How about departmental expenses?
I'm not trying to be, listen.
No, I'm,
My goal, if I could cut overtime, I would cut overtime.
Okay.
I think somebody cut it 2 years in a row,
and now we're in a.
and now we're in a bind, but that's okay. We're gonna work on it.
because I see that and I go, pay people what they're worth, you pay and if they put in extra time, of
Yeah,
course, but is there any way?
We have something called CBAs.
And every time they get a salary, when the salaries increase, the overtime budget has to increase.
Yeah, so I was just wondering if there's some way planning moving forward, maybe we could try to be a little bit
The
more.
best way to cut
thoughtful.
overtime, unfortunately, is to hire more staff, which costs more money for benefits,
All right,
And have the storms during the week.
and have storms fall only during the week. Those are the
Yeah.
two best ways to cut overtime,
I
because,
like that one, I like
but-
that one.
because
So
Jamin,
far,
here,
we've been getting whacked every weekend.
I know,
and
it's been
Sundays
brutal.
is double.
because here's the reality of the situation, right? I'm gonna use the police officers as an example. If you have a minimum of 3 officers on at a time, 3 plus the supervisor, right?
Two patrol officers and a supervisor.
So, if you do this math with me for a second, 8-hour shifts, you have to have three on at every time. 8-hour shifts, they can't work every day of the week, they work 5 days a week, so you rotate that through all of your officers. And then you assume there are some staff, certain officers that are not, have detectives that aren't out on the beat, so those are also doing there. One person calls out sick, you have to then fill that with overtime from somebody else because somebody has to work more than their hours. The way to fix that is you hire additional officers, but then the problem is you're gonna have more staffing benefit, you're gonna have not only more staffing, but you're gonna have somebody on shift, maybe not on overtime, but they're gonna be on shift now, and it's really,
Conceptually, I'm very familiar
Yeah.
with this.
I'm sorry.
Do have. and
You're right.
it's
No, no,
great
I'm not trying to talk down
about
to you.
it.
I'm sorry.
No, I know. No. Don't worry, James. I know you don't do that.
And those have been, I guess, persistent issues in every town. I can remember, maybe it was 10 years ago, I was on Board of Finance, it might even been a little bit longer, and I'm sure you're gonna remember this, and I'll bet you Al does too. We were having a lot of overtime issues, and the price, our cost of running the town was getting out of hand, and we worked through some things, but it was not easy. It was not easy.
The biggest two departments are the police department and public works. And as the mayor alluded to with regards to minimum staffing, then with the police department, specific crimes, they don't always, occur when detectives are working on the day shift. They like to occur on evenings and midnights. So you gotta bring detectives in, depending on the severity of the crime, how many detectives. Then you got training with the police department, state mandated training. So there's a lot of factors that we have no control over. As Councilman Hanahan alluded to, I wish to have snowstorms Monday through Friday, day shift. Doesn't happen. We do training now with some of our people, not as much. We do road paving. We have to have personnel do certain things and be available.
I know, I imagine it's very complex. I'm just saying,
I
if
agree
there's
with
some
you.
way we could do
If it could be
something with it.
cut, It could be cut, but you see how much is spent every year. And the only answer is, if you want to eliminate overtime, then you hire more people, and then we're gonna pay.
I'm sure.
One way or
just-
another.
Well, to that point I was bringing up, what we did, a lot of it was in the police department.
Police department, we hired more people.
And we hired more people.
Which we needed to do.
We had a lot less people than we have now, and so overtime was getting out of hand. And
I had one Board of Finance member who kept insisting, I'll give you more people if you cut your overtime. And I said, I can't cut the overtime until you give me more people.
more people, yeah.
Then I'll cut the overtime, but you can't cut my overtime. There's a point where you gotta give me the overtime and the people, and then once the people are trained, then we can cut some overtime.
And everybody's happy.
I have one last thought slash question, if you'll indulge me.
Of course.
Sorry, Paula. These police cruisers, they're not that old or have that many miles. Is it possible or reasonable to repurpose them instead of like selling them? They don't repurpose? No?
Not like the old Crown Vics. You can't just make them into the.
I'm having flashbacks. When we used to hold, as long as we can, and we do hold them over 100. The fleet right now is relatively fairly new, so that's why you don't see any real requests for police cruisers. But these cruisers do not stand up to the old Crown Vic.
All right, well, thank you.
Especially the engines. I don't know why they designed an engine where they put the water pump inside the engine. If we blow an engine and we've blown them and it's not covered under warranty, it's very expensive. 30,000, if you have a number of engines, well, won't even be enough.
All right.
Can I get a motion on item 16, because you guys never made one, on general expenses? For the new number?
Item 16, we started asking questions, so we got kind of sidetracked on that. General expenses, this is with the CNR. The final number, I believe, was $2,066,649.00, correct? Can I have a motion to approve? Nope.
206-6649.
Yes.
Yep, 206, another 666 in there, 2066649.
Play the number tomorrow.
So moved.
So moved.
Made by Jamin,
Second.
second by Al. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Okay, before we adjourn, we have two items that we're going to be covering next week. It's that permitting website we're going to get more information on, and then we're going to talk to facilities about whether or not they need a budget for something. Let me just ask this for Secretary Sharon, based off of everything that we're looking at, just assume for the moment that there are no changes to that outstanding department that we haven't done.
Let me fill it in, because I didn't.
Yeah,
So,
just,
do you really want to start at 5:30?
we have the public hearing at 6:45?
Correct.
Let's start at 6. That's
Thank-
45 minutes to
thank
talk
you.
about.
I was gonna suggest that's,
Thanks, Jack. Thanks, Jack.
We're going to start at 6 next Wednesday.
That's all for hers.
How about this, James? I still got-
Yeah, Al has a question on something for that we handed out today while she's pulling that up. He had a question on the air jack.
Tony?
yes, sir.
I'm sorry, thank you. On the air jack, you got a quote from Snap-on Tool, and then Fleet Pride, same situation, for Fleet Pride is like $2,000 more. If I may, through my experience, Mac Tool are basically the same equipment with a different name on them. Okay, with Snap-on, you're paying for the name Snap-on. Is it possible to have whoever in charge, Mac Tool get a price and Mac Tool? There's two different,
Yeah,
Mac Tool and Maco.
Mac and Maco.
Yep, MATCO and MAC. There's another one in there too, but they're kind of high expensive, it's Cornwell. And Snap-on, very high.
6, so we can talk about this ticketing system.
I guess exactly what are you looking for me, the total number?
Yeah, so we were at a 5.41% increase without CNR. we were at a total government of 4.14 without CNR, I guess, so,
Yeah, so the reason CNR seems to be more is because you guys decreased it.
yep.
So, and, I'm qualifying this because I
Yeah,
would
of course.
like to do a
Yeah, of
full
course, of
check.
course, of course.
Right now, total general government is at 3.87,
Okay,
and without CNR, 4.46.
That's the increase, huh?
that seems, I mean, so that's, okay, so that's good, that's a little lower than where it was.
I will, go over these before the town council meeting, so make sure everything's.
Okay, great. I mean, I just gotta say, congratulations, thank you to the town manager and to the finance director for going through this with such a fine-tooth comb, for putting up with our questions. Please express, to the departments our thanks for, the work that they put into this. Know that our evaluative assessments are not commentaries on anyone doing a good or bad job, or trying to diminish any of the hard work that they do. It's just us trying to balance the book and make sure that we're making the best decisions we can. Poking, prodding, kicking the tires are all part of that process. Thank you, Cassidy, and please extend our thanks to Amanda for being secretary to these often unyieldy meetings. I think that we have a budget here that we can defend. I think there are some improvements that we want to make to the process as we continue to grow and change and learn, but I think that I don't see personally where there's a lot of fat to be trimmed. I think we've done a pretty good job of poking where we can poke and prod where we can prod, but we do have next week where we're going to be here at 6, so if anyone looks through it and has buyer's remorse on something and wants to revisit it, please just let me know before we get there at 6 so we can let Sharon know, so that the appropriate department head or staff member can be ready to answer additional questions that we may have. So I don't want to have a situation where we're, oh, well, maybe the library doesn't need this, but Kara's not here to answer questions that we may have about it. So if there are specific additional cuts that we want to explore, please let me know by Tuesday so I can let the staff know for the following day. That would be very much appreciated, so like midday Tuesday, like by Tuesday by noon, so that way the staff has a little bit of time to plan if they do need to be here or prepare a memo or something.
I'd like to say thank you, Mr. Mayor, and the council. I will pass it along to the directors, and as always, your goal is our goal, and our goal is to provide the best possible budget to our taxpayers and still provide programs, the projects, and the services that we provide, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Before the town manager leaves his seat, like last night, like I mentioned earlier, Tony, you do a fine job, the finances, I'm very impressed with that, and I think we all are as far as the way you handle that.
Thank you very much.
You're very well,
I have a good staff, as I said, the directors.
yeah.
They do a good
Come to
job.
finances, you're on top of it. You're frugal.
Appreciate it.
Welcome.
To adjourn at 8:27.
So moved.
Motion made by Paula, second by Jack. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Oh, Al opposed. Motion carries. I'm gonna keep it like that. I think that's accurate. Bring the binders, and everyone now has their packet. Congratulations, we collectively